Okay, let's fix this up here. Hide shadow. We will hide Nyan because Nyan's not here. And we'll fix shadows PNG. What? No, I just fixed Ari's first. Chill. Relax. I was able to fix it the last time we were in a VC together. I was able to fix it. Yeah, we had a secret book club. We had a secret book club episode without anybody else. That was what happened, yeah. It's what we do. Am I supposed to drag it on? Are you gonna do this to me? No, there we go. Listen. I was trying to think of what to do, because our models would like cover like a big section of the art or whatever by existing. So I was trying to think of like if I should like make the cover art smaller and put some other background thing behind us or some shit, but more so it's going to be, I talked with Andy about this on stream at some point, where we had said it would be cool to like commission somebody or have somebody do some art where it's like a book club little like room, and then we just position our models in it, and we would be able to put like the cover for that week somewhere in the room, and then we can have like little memes that we have as inside jokes around in the book club room. That would be pretty cute, I think. That'd be like funny, cute, all around. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Wait, let me add your... We gotta have a poster that says it was Mer People, obviously. Okay, so Shadow has 2 talking versions. Which one do we do here? Oh! Sorry about that. Oh, God. I forgot to add that into the scene. Hold on. Hold on, I will add this in so that they can hear you. Wait, ignore everything you're about to see. Hold on. There we go. No, they can't hear you yet. Chill. Where's my group that says the voices? Where's the voices? Wait, mics and voices. They should hear you. They should absolutely... Wait, talk? Okay, nobody can hear that. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, but why would it not work here? Hold on, why would it not work here? Hold on. Wait, is it only going to do, like, Discord sounds? Hold on, wait a minute. No, you can't even hear the sounds. Wait, why would they? Okay, hold on. Add application audio capture? Discord voices. Create. There's only one Discord thing, and I'm pretty sure I have it in there. I'll add it again. Speak.
Hello.
Hello, Internet.
Why did they hear that and not the other one? Hello? Wait. Is it really because the title of the Discord window doesn't match what I had it in before? Are you fucking serious? Hold on. I will fix everything so that that is never an issue. They're not going to hear you for a moment as I fix this. Don't worry. Listen. Everything will be fine.
Well, at least
okay.
you can at least hear it now.
Let's see. Match title. Otherwise find window of same executable. Then this should never be a problem. Speak now.
Hi.
Speak? Okay. All right, they can
Hello.
hear you now. Okay,
Yeah, I can hear him.
For those of you who weren't able to hear, which would be everybody watching the streams, I came in, they were rambling about stuff about college stuff, and
Yes.
now we were talking about how I'm fixing up the Umineko PNG tubers, and we were talking about the idea of setting up like a little book club room, maybe commissioning some artist or getting someone to do it or whatever, and then we have like a bunch of memes all around the place, and it'd be cute.
Yeah.
That was what we talked about.
We never got where people won. I think we gotta have like the Fuji incident, something about that. But that's far too good to be ignored.
We'll have like a something about having not read Dorohedoro to up to that scene or whatever.
Maybe like a framed photo of Andy and Vegeta.
It just says "Rest in peace," and then once Andy does read it, we can cross out the "Rest in peace."
Oh, that'd be so good.
Okay, let's see here. This one? No, not this one. We need these eyes. We'll do these eyes for you. There you go. There's your speaking. Okay.
We also definitely need the okay. That's
Okay.
okay. Flip over. We have a chessboard somewhere too. Can't forget that.
All right. So now your thing's working. Ari, speak.
Yippee!
All right, your thing's working too. I will move. I will move I'll arrange our characters so that they're evenly spaced. And then we can do this. Wait, where do I put you? You go over here. Yes.
No, don't move me.
Actually, we should arrange it slightly more. Okay, you go over here. You... Wait, no, not you. You!
Now an ad started.
Yeah, ads were going to start at the beginning anyways, so we weren't going to be, like, starting for at least 8 minutes anyways. Twitch always does. I can't control that, so...
Yahoo!
Yahoo! Yippee! Wowee!
Wow!
Oh, your hair
Hey
was getting cut off.
Luigi, what's the holdup?
Hey, Luigi! What's the holdup? Okay, apparently part of your outfit was getting cut off, and that's there. They are full body, but we can't have our full body showing without us being, like, unnoticeable with the background stuff, so...
My elbow's
Too
missing.
bad. Cover up Anjay.
Yeah, I'm fixing your elbow, don't worry. We have
Thank
to...
you.
This is how we censor Anjay's ass, okay? We have to...
We're Goku this time. We become Goku.
Ari was also saying this when you guys couldn't hear it. Ari was like, I hate that cover art for this because it's like Anjay's ass and then young Anjay right next to each other.
What is
It's
Pikachu
just
trying to tell us
so-
here?
It's just so egregious for no reason. Like I don't like cover arts like that where it's like this isn't
They
a
knew what
It's-
they were
hentai,
doing.
like-
It's meant to like look like Anjay's like getting serious and about to fight or whatever, but
like,
it's
you
just
can't.
it's just focusing on her ass, and I'm like, okay, all right.
I take it as like it's her falling and it's her looking up at us and
Okay.
like she's falling towards her child self,
Yeah.
which would be a cool idea, except how they executed it.
Okay, wait, is this right?
Speaking of execution,
Okay, we'll move you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna move it. Everyone's dying.
yeah. But why? No, this is happy. This is a happy Halloween.
We were told this will not have a happy ending in red. I remembered this. And
Did
then
you
I
not
was
see everyone having a happy Halloween?
I was wondering why we were having a happy Halloween for so long. I was expecting bodies to drop way sooner.
Oh
look,
shit!
okay,
What did you
we gotta
forget?
have some fun.
What did you forget?
God, I was gonna.
Were you- What were you doing?
Yes, I distracted Ari enough.
Don't worry about it.
I've succeeded
Oh, thank
yet
goodness.
again.
It's second on Google.
What have you done?
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about it.
Yippee! The Mickey hats and all. Okay. But I still need
You
some
gotta-
screenshots.
Hey, we need like book club accurate like heights here, okay? How tall are our fucking characters, okay? We need to make like Ari way shorter, okay?
What are you gonna have me off the screen?
Here's the thing though, you're taller than Andy.
There you
though,
go.
okay?
This is perfect. This is accurate book club heights right here.
I think my fictional character towers over you.
Over me?
Yes.
I'm like 6'2".
I think Shadman's taller than that.
I mean, from how your guy looks, he looks like he's floating. So, you know, I guess he
Yeah.
would. He'd
I'm
be
on
like
my
here.
textbook at all time.
This is
You
book club
can't even see
accurate
my
heights.
mouth.
You can see it sometimes when you talk.
Like,
Just
all
a
right,
tiny bit.
if you think you have it bad, think about Andy. Okay, they're 5'3".
Oh boy.
So
Oh, okay, you're
It's
both
over.
small.
It's over.
Oh, then Andy's not even on screen then.
Well, I mean, they're literally not on screen this week, so. Oh,
Well,
for
I
those.
mean-
Well, I would show it for those interested, but Andy's not here, so it won't actually work for me to show it through this thing. But I can show the PNG.
No,
those who wanna
show
see
it
it.
next week. No. You gotta get them in for next week, okay?
Man, okay. Well, you get a little preview of like the corner of like their ear. Okay, there you go, in the
Yes.
eye. There you go. You get a little preview there. If you want to find out what the full thing looks like, show up next week for that.
Dragon Ball Z.
If Andy shows up, that's the question. Well, we'll see. We'll see how they're doing with their school stuff and life, and see if they survive. You could do it, Andy. I believe in you. All right, let's move Shadow. Let's move Shadow over here. We gotta maneuver Shadow away from Anjay's ass. Okay, it's not appropriate. Shadow, you gotta close your eyes. We gotta flip him so he's not looking that way too.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
How do I wait? How do I right click transform? Horizontal. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
He sees nothing.
Sounds like for me, I don't have eyes. Actually, they didn't.
All right, so we lock in. All right, the ad should be done now too.
Is this what it's like to be Chef?
Oh wait, hold on. I have to send out the pings for things. Hold on.
I
already-
can do the blindfold speed run.
I already have all the pings written. I just have to hit enter on them. First one. Boom, you just got freaking pinged. Oh my god,
I
can you
did something
believe
in
it?
advance.
Can you believe
oh my
it?
gosh.
Oh my god, you just got freaking pinged. Oh my god, you just got freaking pinged. Posted to the Twitters, posted
Chef,
to the
the
Blue
thumbnail
Skies.
on the ping isn't censored. What the hell?
Sorry, I didn't have the time to add our PNG tubers to the thumbnail. Okay, let me see here what we have in the chats already. We got
You're
Minmod
waiting.
here in the chat. OMG, they're so cute. I can only hear Wolfborg. We can hear smiley face. Speak now or forever hold your game peace. Fall with your whole ass out.
Wow.
This story will not have a happy Halloween ending.
What are you
Umineko
talking
2008 AMV. Let the bodies hit the floor. Thank you so much for joining us here, Minmod. You just got frickin' hugged. So true. Alright, let me see here. Okay, we've sent out the pings. We're here on the Twitters, Kicks, YouTubes. Let me pull it up on my phone and we should be ready to go. I had a screenshot of the rules of the game that they had here, okay? And I kept consulting it. Listen, I have things to talk about for this week. I have things to talk about with what the fuck we're trying to do here this week. All right, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Okay, let me do this. Should be good. All right, are we ready to go? I'm gonna take off pre-show and we're gonna get started. Welcome everybody to another exciting week of the Anime Book Club here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick all at the same time. Now with little Umineko sprites for us to talk with. And they move while we talk and all that. It's very nice. We also have one made for Andy who is not able to make it this week, but you'll be able to check that out next week when they show up. These sprites were all done by at Sea Cats Crying over on Twitter and Blue Sky. They do amazing art. So if you are interested in these as well, go check them out. They do really great Higurashi and Umineko style art. It looks very good. So go check them out if you are interested. I am very excited to have them. They look really well done. They look so good. So we're going to be using these for the remainder of our discussions about Umineko, and probably also when we play Golden Fantasia as well. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yippee!
Woo! All right. So we are here once again to discuss Umineko When They Cry, the manga. This time we're on episode 8, Twilight of the Golden Witch. We're in the final stretch, boys. The last episode of Umineko When They Cry. 3 more weeks of discussions. That's all we got. Before we get into that discussion,
That's what you think.
before we get into that, let's introduce our cast here today. In order of our sprites that are on the screen, we'll go with that. First up, there's me, Chaplain, aka Wolfborg, aka Battlerborg, as it's written on the Discord right now, which I did not think to include on the screen right now, but that is my name for Umineko. It's Battlerborg, okay? And what I recommend? I was trying to think of what I would recommend, but I was too busy trying to make sure everything was all set up to think of what I would recommend. I would recommend, I would recommend that the members of book club start thinking. That they start thinking. Because we're getting close to the end of book club for Umineko, and we got to start proposing the next series. And I've already said this in a past stream. I am imposing a rule for the next at least one series, potentially two, I don't know. But we have to pick a short series, not a one-shot, a short series. What does this mean? This means we have to be thinking of and eventually propose ideas for a series which are between, I want to say, probably like 4 to 10 volumes. This is the length that we'll go with for this. So
he's fucking tired of Umineko and long things.
Well, it was a very, very long journey, okay? It went in a whole bunch of different directions. It's the longest series we've done to date. Probably going to be the longest we've done for a very long time. And I would like us to just sit back and chill and pick something nice and short, okay?
He wants New Game.
New Game would not fit the criteria, unfortunately. New Game would not fit the criteria. I would absolutely promote New Game as an option, and I will be putting up for a future vote, okay? But this is a democracy here, okay? I'm not going to force... Well, for now, it's a democracy. Keep pushing it, okay? Keep pushing it, see what the fuck happens. But for now, I will say, okay, we can think for the short series stuff. Again, around 4 to 6 volumes. All right, now 4 to 10 volumes. 4 to 10 volumes. And, that we'll be reading at the same rate of about like 2 volumes a week. So it should take us like the next series would be like 2 to 5 weeks of discussion. I think that's a nice little chunk of reading. It'd be very good. Ideally, I'm not going to force this on people, but ideally, I want things that are not super mega depressing and dark. Okay, I would not like super mega depressing and dark things for our next little thing, okay? I want some a little happy, but you can propose things that are a little dark if you want, but I want some recommendation of things that are happy, okay? Can I get one rom-com? Can we get some Yuri going? Can we get something, like, chill? Can we get some chill things going? Can we? No? Okay, well, we'll see what the members of the book club bring to the discussion under this democracy that we have here, all right? Now, that's what I got to say for this week. Next up, we have Arimia. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Arimia.
Anything else?
No.
Wow, that's so exciting. Do you have anything at all to recommend? Do you like shonen?
Shonen's alright.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think so. I recommend going to read the Spooktober visual novel jam entries because we recently wrapped up judging for that 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And there's still quite a lot of great entries out there. I mean, they're all still up.
Yep.
It's like 200 visual novels that are all horror, creepy, scary, Halloween, spooky, funny themes.
Yep.
Anything Halloween, anything creepy. So,
I finally read I read at some point Killer Chat. I that was a very interesting entry. Very interesting entry. I don't think I finished it, but it was pretty cool. Yeah. That was a very interesting one. There was a whole bunch of interesting ones, and I was almost going to make a video talking about the ones I recommended like last year, and then I got too busy, and now it's like far past the end of that, so I'm like, okay, I probably shouldn't. So maybe I will, maybe I won't, probably not. So, but anyways, go check those out.
Done like as soon as we're done with judging, because I'm like, I gotta get this out of my system.
Yeah. Well, go check out those entries if you're interested. You can find all that on Itch.io. If you look up Spooktober VN Jam, there'll be like an Itch.io page that pops up, and you can check out all the entries for that. And next up we have Shadow Man. Introduce yourself.
time Shadow. I don't really have shit to recommend. You actually know I recommend reading Umineko.
Oh, all right. I've never heard of that
Wow.
before. Can you explain what it's about? It's not, it should be very easy to explain, right?
All right, so there's this epitaph, right?
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of bullshit
it-
to solve.
Is it solvable? You should be able to solve this.
Technically solvable,
Oh,
but
well.
you know it requires a couple of leaps through hoops.
Oh, well, haha. I never would have guessed. I would have assumed all of it was just very easy to solve. Of course. Well, thank you so much for that, Shadow. So go check out Umineko if you've ever heard of that series. I hear it's all right. I hear it's all right. So, we're here once again to discuss Umineko When They Cry the Manga, Episode 8, Twilight of the Golden Witch. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My top thought this week, bro. We crammed so much in to the first. Everything that happened this week, I thought could have been stretched out for the entirety of the episode. I was like, what the fuck? First, we had 3 segments.
It's super long.
We had
It's longer in the visual novel.
Yeah, okay, so I was gonna, that's the thing I want to ask you, but first off, let's lay the groundwork here. There's like 3 sections to this week, essentially. Mostly 2, but mainly 3. The first bit is the Halloween party memes. Anjay has been brought into one of the stories as young Anjay, who actually did show up for it, and it's a Halloween party. We'll get into the detail about that. We'll get into the details about that first, but let me just lay out the groundwork here. So we have the Halloween party story, then we have the Halloween after party, then we have, you can consider those both one thing probably, but like it was essentially just like one big like fantastical thing in the second bit. And then we have an actual murder mystery, like a traditional pure murder mystery of sorts, which was kind of a speed run, but also very long-winded and repeating itself. I was getting a little annoyed, and I wanted to ask, and we'll get into it more, about like how much of that was actually in the VN versus, because I can tell, and I think you already warned us, but I think even the manga artist, who's a returning artist from the first episode, Kei Natsumi, so they're now back. And I think even they had was it them or Ryukishi? One of them had mentioned that like there were many things in this adaptation that were not in the original that Ryukishi specifically said were okay to add into it to make things more clear, I guess. So we'll be
that once we get to the second part.
Yeah. And then the third part was, this is mostly just like the ending cliffhanger bit, but it was the like understanding that was all gaslighting and that now it's time for the real truth, okay? The real story of what really happened at Rokkenjima, which I totally believe will actually be presented to us. Definitely. Listen. Battler said that the Halloween party was going to be the real story, all right? But listen.
We took some creative liberties. All
right. Let's take a little step back. Let's go back to a little happy Halloween party. Everybody's favorite time. So, Anjay has in her ever-ending quest to figure out what the fuck happened to her family, finds herself in her young form being brought back to the events of what happened by Battler, who is trying to present to her not necessarily the truth, but an important like experience with the family that is more important than the truth, is I think how he puts it. He wants to essentially give her the experience that she missed out on, to show her the family that she may have misunderstood over time, or like gotten her memories twisted about based on the public's interpretation of the Ushiromiya family, the true crime podcast girlies and all that, and how they're doing all their shit about it.
Literally. And
and-
because she was only 6 at the time, so
Yeah.
her memories are already warped of her family, the
Right.
little bit that she does remember.
Yes, and we're continuing with this week too, with her having just been told by Berncastle that Kyrie and Rudolph were the real murderers, and implying that was the actual truth. Which
And then she retcons that later, but
turns out, and it's retconned in the dumbest fucking way. I hate Ryukishi. I hate him. I hate him, bro. It's like, oh, Berncastle said this is the truth in red. But Anjay ended up screaming a little too loud, and there was more. So Berncastle was like, "This is the truth." If you want it to be, that is. Like, whispered it, is what it felt like it was trying to say. And I'm like, bro, that is a dumb way to do that. That is so dumb. Listen,
it's a
Ryukishi.
very, very cat way, though.
This is what you're gonna defend it with? Okay, listen. I knew when we were presented with the Rudolph and Kyrie were the actual killers, but it was like at the end of episode 7. I was like, we're gonna pull something weird, and it's not actually gonna be the truth.
We're gonna do a funny.
I knew that was coming because we had a whole other episode. I didn't realize it was gonna be it's that ending is yours up to interpretation, and it just makes me angry because now Ryukishi is teasing next week that we're gonna get the actual answer, and I don't know if we're actually getting the actual answer or if it's gonna be another meme of, well, that's up to your interpretation. Maybe the truth is whatever you make it out to be. Maybe perhaps
the truth was the friends we made along the way.
maybe the real lesson is you're not supposed to be trying to guess what the fuck happened with them. You're supposed to mourn their deaths. I don't fucking know. Listen, all I know is we have a Halloween party going on. Anjay's being presented with a Halloween party by Battler, but she's hesitant about it at first, right? She's like, wait a minute, this isn't what happened. I wasn't there. Kinzo was never this, like, joyful. I barely even saw him, I think. Fucking Shannon and Cannon existing in the same room with, like, everybody else here, that didn't happen. And a couple times, Anjay, like, young Anjay, who's, like, what, 6 at this point? How old is she?
Yeah.
Like, Maria's 9 and Anjay's 6, right? So Anjay's,
And then, yeah.
Anjay's, like, breaking out to, like, her like,
18-year-old self.
Yeah, 18-year-old self kind of taking over the body to be like, wait a minute, but Battler, you're fucking lying to me. You're lying to me. This isn't what happened. And Battler's like, am I though? Did you actually see? Perhaps your memories. I mean, Grandpa used to be like this every year with us. You just didn't remember. You were like 6.
He likes Western stuff so much.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he celebrate Halloween?
I mean, yeah, of course. We obviously celebrated Halloween like the beginning of October, like with a big Halloween party, right? We didn't, we obviously, didn't decide to host the
like Christmas. You
yeah.
can celebrate it anytime during the month.
Yeah, especially an entire like 30 or 26 days beforehand. It's fine.
They're only going to show up on this day, okay? You want to do it some point, okay? So
like, Anjay, you may be asking, why wasn't the family annual meeting then just hosted on Halloween then? Well, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's October 4th, October 5th, and that's that. That's that. So.
And then she's like, but he's dead. And
it's
he's
not
like,
time
no.
Not anymore. No, you just thought he was dead. We have the understanding of the bomb, so he was actually alive and joyful up until midnight. It's fine. It's fine.
No one knows.
You weren't there, so you wouldn't know. You don't actually know when he died. So.
Who's to say he wasn't?
So Battler's gaslighting Anjay, and I think I even said this as soon as I think I would like mention in the book club chat. I was just like, if this whole episode is just Battler gaslighting Anjay for the entire episode, and this is how we end Umineko, that's gonna be very funny.
He learns from the best.
Learned right from Beatrice. Beatrice, who is also just at the party, and everyone just knows and hangs out with, because of course.
And good friend.
And not only is Beatrice at the party, a part of the party is a ceremony to Beatrice, where Kinzo is ceremoniously returning the gold, all the gold that he borrowed from Beatrice, which somehow he is able to just all give back and leave inheritance for all his children somehow. And all the problems are solved. Because Battler doesn't know how to explain any of this shit, so we're not given actual answers for how we could have done it.
No. I know how we got the inheritance money, okay?
Uh-huh.
In this timeline, the moon tours have worked out.
Oh, obviously. And Kraus decided in his generosity to share it with Kinzo and all of the siblings. I understand.
Of course.
I mean...
Screenshots and spoiler chat, but...
Okay. Well, let me make sure I have this up so I can pull some of them in. How to get through tough times. How is this person?
Friends! I love her expression in the VN better because it's like her aghast expression.
Yeah, it's your friend.
It's a
manga,
friend of mine.
Great, like her beating him up.
I mean, either one's accurate. Oh, also, there's one panel I thought I mentioned early on.
What's that?
It's this one. It's going to clean the flower.
The wilted flower.
Oh, is that was supposed to be Maria's like rose or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a nice little Halloween party. It's all presented to us, the readers, as like a nice little slice of life, fun times with the crazy rich family moments.
As you do, it's wonderful.
Everybody is so sweet. You're getting diabetes while reading it. All that kind of stuff. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Okay. Very, very sweet. It is very fun. Unfortunately, though, for me at least, Ryokushi has beaten into my head over the course of 7 episodes. Like, all these volumes and weeks of us discussing it. He has beaten into my head that all these happy times is going to end in a lot of murder. And so I should immediately be like, okay, who's the killer going to be? Who's it going to be this time? How am I being lied to this time? Like, who's lying in the narration now? What's happening here?
This is Battler's
on the paranoia.
Why would anyone do
You mean
that?
Battler's gaslight, okay? Which, by the way, as we mentioned, this is Battler's game. Right. It's Battler's game against Anjay, we later find out. It is presented to Anjay as if this is just Battler trying to show her the truth. And then we have a little like mini game against Burn Castle in the middle of it. But it is like it's deception from Battler on par with the deception that Beatrice did in one of those episodes where she kept acting all vulnerable so that Battler would like come save her the whole time, only to like be like, okay, sign this little thing here that says you acknowledge witches, and Battler's like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait a second. You can't fool me.
It's like that, but like on a far other level with this, because now it's instead of like just one person lying about how their emotions are about these things or like seeming vulnerable, it's like misrepresenting how the entire family entirely acted. All these situations, all these people, like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Goda's just going around like, ooh, Livy, water all the plants and make sure all the foods look good. Everybody's so excited for my preparations for everything.
Of course you can eat the food.
Oh my, yes. Yes, of course. And I'm looking at his smug ass face in some of these panels too. Oh man. Everybody's having a nice fun time. And it is nice to read these things. It's one of those things, though, where I kind of wished I wasn't expecting things to go wrong later. Like, I mean, my opinion about this might change as we read the next couple of weeks' volumes. But I feel like this would have been a nice little happy ending thing that could have actually been at the actual ending. Where we might be presented with the actual truth later on, and it will not be a happy story. But if it ended with the whole, well, that might have been the truth, but you could also leave certain things to your imagination, because sometimes it's more important to remember these memories instead of like uncovering some of those hard truths or whatever. But also, it's one of those things where Ryokushi's obviously presenting it in this kind of order because there is some kind of important message he's trying to impart onto us by presenting it like this. He is first showing us that, yes, you could just focus more so on your memories of these people and the fun times or whatever, or like create your own little theory or narrative where everything was perfectly fine, not acknowledging later on about the murders that happened. Or so here's the question I had: all the murders that happened, were those supposed to be a continuation of the Halloween party events, or was it just supposed to be entirely separate? It's supposed to be entirely separate, I'm imagining.
So when we are skipping far forward a lot, but that's when Anjay leaves the guest room and sees the corpses in the dining hall, whatever. That is Byrne leading her out of Battler's game board and onto Byrne's game board.
Okay.
The one where they have the whole murder mystery.
Yeah, because I was getting a little confused on some things, but I was like trying not to think too much about it.
One of Battler's tricks, you know.
Well, I mean it did turn out to also be a little bit part of Battler's little deception here to get Anjay closer to him, kinda. Even though Anjay was a hostage, I don't even understand it, but it was supposed to be like a whole thing. Listen, the Halloween party happened. Kinzo's even show up to the party. That's where we got the meme video of him saying "Happy Halloween," which is not a meme. Which is not a meme. It actually happens in the VN, right?
Real. That's an actual clip from the VN.
Yeah. Happy Halloween and the trick or treat.
It's so good.
Yeah, everybody's.
I think Steam deleted my screenshots.
Rip.
No.
Everybody's all happy. We're getting. I like how the artist deals with a little slice of life comedy thing where everybody's just having fun. I like the expressions they kept drawing with a lot of their happy faces or whatever. Obviously, they had to go all out on that kind of stuff to just showcase how happy-go-lucky this event is. Kinzo's entrance seems scary to Anjay at first because Anjay only has bad like stories about Kinzo, or like has like been told by family members in the past to not upset Kinzo or something to that effect. So Kinzo's a little scary at first, and then he just goes, "Happy Halloween!" and he's all excited. Kinzo, I don't want to know the truth. I wish we weren't told. I wish we weren't confirmed that truth about the fucked up shit Kinzo did. Okay, I like this Kinzo. I like crazy occult guy Kinzo. Why did he also have to be a groomer, incest like grandpa? What is happening? Why? Oh man, I like little happy grandpa Kinzo going trick or treat. I bought all my kids nice little presents. We're just gonna have a little Halloween fun time. Everybody's gonna have a good time. Well, I also understand I'm dying soon, and I don't want you kids arguing over this stuff. I'm gonna like have a living funeral, I think it was called, or something like a living wake. I forget what it was referred to as, but basically I'm gonna settle all my affairs right now while I'm still alive, and then when I pass away, you guys won't have to deal with that as much. And that's where we also have the ceremony about giving back all of the gold to Beatrice. Beatrice is just there like, I don't really have anything I could do with it. but I guess I have to accept it. So, all right, sure. I'll accept it for the ceremony, but I don't really need it anymore. But okay. It's promise is a promise, I guess. And somehow Kinzo's like, I finally come up with a way to be able to pay you back all your gold and make sure all my kids still have their money and all that. Battler just doesn't give us the details on how. It's just like, yeah, everything's all fixed.
He just kind of waves his hand like, Anjay's not gonna care about this.
He's just literally like, oh, all the Ushiromias that had money issues. Nope, not anymore. Dad figured it out. I don't know how. He just did. He must have had the clock running the night before. I don't know. Yeah, he must have.
My screenshots are back.
What? The screenshots. There we go.
My screenshots are back. Okay. I just had to reset. Okay.
Kinzo just sat for like days in front of the clock in the middle of the night, being like, I have to come up with one idea. And he eventually must have come up with the ways to pay back everybody, and so he did that. Kinzo, who's not even supposed to be there, by the way. Kinzo's supposed to be dead. But, Battler, again, Battler again is not concerned about that. And then they all have a nice little meal. And then we have a whole hide and seek segment. There's a whole hide and seek bit where Anjay. I keep looking at Anjay and being like, that's Maria. Wait, that's not Maria.
Oh,
This is
my
another little
gosh.
girl that we have here on the island now. So
There's
Anjay.
many small children on this island.
Oh yeah, we also had Ava. Ava reconnecting with Anjay. Ava being a happy, sweet aunt who's like very like, comforting to Anjay, being like, oh, there's my little niece. Like, because that's always how Ava was. Definitely. Yeah.
Of course.
So this part of the story, in the visual novel, Umineko as a whole is a kinetic or linear visual novel. Basically, that's the term we use to say that it is a visual novel without choices. You
Yep.
just read. You are sitting your ass down and clicking the space bar to read.
I can't
okay?
read.
I
Skill
can't read
issue.
all right.
So they however, episode 8 made a drastic change where it is not a linear visual novel.
What?
Episode 8 introduces mini games.
What?
Oh,
Wait, what?
So this entire segment.
Wait, tell me I can play chess. Tell me there's a chess game.
No.
Bro.
This entire segment is not hide and seek in the visual novel. Instead, they pull out the slices of cake, and Ava and Anjay get the winning pieces. And instead of hide and seek, she wants to play She wants to play games with everybody there, so they do puzzles.
Okay.
And so Ava and Anjay go around, and they ask different groups puzzles, and they give her basically like brain teasers. They're all like word puzzles, or spoken puzzles, I should say.
Okay.
So, you've got like Kyrie and Rudolph giving her a puzzle. You've got Ava
Is
and
that why-
giving her one.
Is that why we randomly had the Monty Hall problem this week?
Yes, the Monty Hall
Okay.
problem is the puzzle that George and
Jessica, yeah.
give her.
I was like,
And
what? Why the fuck are we talking about this right now?
Yeah, and
Advanced.
that's one of the last puzzles she gets. But basically, in the VN, it's a linear segment where you don't get to pick who she goes to, but you do have to pick the right answer. You don't have to pick the right answer, but like,
You die.
that's where the
I
murders
told
come in.
you.
No.
Oh boy.
But like, you go to some people. The first one, I forget who the first one is, but basically, you go up to them. They give you a question. So the first question I have up here. That was the thing I was panicking about because I forgot that I was going to bring these up.
Okay.
Let's
On
hear it.
Christmas Day, a woman looked up to the sky and spoke. Eventually, the night will end and morning will come. Wouldn't it be wonderful if, after the sun sinks and it becomes night once more, it could be Christmas again? And the man spoke. Okay, I'll make your dream come true for you. Is such a thing possible? You got two chances, two options. A, it's possible, or B, it's impossible.
Wait, say it again. Say it one more time.
Eventually, the night will end and morning will come. Wouldn't
Okay.
it be wonderful if, after the sun sinks and it becomes night once more, it could be Christmas again?
I'll
Is
say
such a
yes.
thing possible?
Yeah, it's
Or say
possible.
Yep, that's the answer.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they don't say when.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
And then you got several different
Merry
ones
Christmas.
like that. And Merry Christmas! And
Great.
Ava will give her hints if you ask for them. So they'll have
Okay.
a little back and forth. But basically, it's to do a little brain teaser, and then of course we get a not lengthy but longer than here kind of basically Ava talking to the group after Anjay leaves, and them basically all just crying. It's a giant cry fest. We don't get in this segment we don't get like Bito and Natsuhi like running around, and Bito just putting bloody handprints on Natsuhi's
I
door.
got it. Like,
It was a little
Don't
prank.
get
It
that.
was a little trolling.
But we do, you do get like Ava talking to these people, and like she talks to Kirie and Rudolph, and just sobbing like, I'm so sorry I couldn't raise her right. I'm so sorry that like I've done this, and Kirie's like, no, you did the best you could. We forgive you. Things like that. I have a few screenshots I'll post in a bit, but basically that whole segment is different brain teasers, and if you get all of them correct,
Oh,
the grand prize
The grand
What?
prize.
is a little Bito doll.
Oh my god, Bito Fumo?
Bito Fuma.
I know that he'd be interested in fun size.
Oh, I'm gonna show it on stream. There it is. This is the prize. This is what you get for solving the epitaph.
Is it really 100% completion if you don't get it?
Do what?
Is it really 100% completion if you don't get it?
No, it's not. I had to make sure I got every single brain teaser right to get all the Steam achievements.
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
right, you kill the run. The run is dead if you don't get it.
Yeah.
So, it's
Yeah,
integral.
You have to redo 160 hours again. Have fun.
Yep.
There's a few that
Get to read.
because like Japanese brain teasers are usually like plays on words. But most of these pretty much made sense. There's only one that they didn't really translate, but it was still easy enough to understand because of just, I guess, not phonetics, but like you kind of understand. It's question 9 on the link. Basically, there's a 7-story skyscraper, and you have to figure out what floor is what. But basically, this segment was just running around and Ava talking to every group after Anjay leaves, and them all
Right.
crying.
Yeah.
So we have different scenes in the manga, but
So, what are the several things that we go through here with the manga thing? So the manga thing for the hide and seek bits, we have first, they find, I'm trying to like find it here in my thing. Who did they find first? Was it Ava?
yeah, it was.
Ava? Oh no, Ava was helping. It was Natsuki? Was it Natsuki
Yeah,
and
it's
Cross?
Natsuki and Bito.
Natsuki and Bito. Okay. Oh yeah, because they had a whole thing where Natsuki has been like feeling really bad. We're getting to like meta confessions to each other across all the games or whatever, where Natsuki's like, you were the child or whatever, and I feel bad for having thrown you off. You didn't do anything wrong, and will you forgive me? All that kind of stuff. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, because the whole conceit of all of this is that all of these pieces know that this is a world that Battler constructed specifically for Anjay, and they are aware of her life in 1998. So
I think
they know.
I think they have like a little speech once Anjay eventually goes to sleep where they're like saying like, can't you see this is the real Golden Land? So it's like trying to imply like this is like a little fantastical heaven for everybody to hang out with and be able to like reconcile all their like truths and like apologies and all that and have a good time with each other and that kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's just like a little heaven to present to Anjay. And allow all these characters to have like these moments with each other one last time before we actually end the story, which we've been told will not be a happy ending. So before we get to that, we get to have people at least be happy with each other. We do get big questions answered though.
Yeah, we got some mixed up
One
answers.
big important one that's just kind of thrown in there. Just kind of added in there was Battler's mom. Okay, Battler's mom.
It's not Bito.
The big
Spoilers.
reveal was Battler's mom was Kirie.
Infamous for having a miscarriage at the same time that Battler was born.
Ryukishi, I love you, but you can't keep doing dumb shit like this. Listen, Ryukishi. First, Ryukishi is like, okay, well, actually, no. Technically, he did this one first, and then he revealed the Burn Castle one later on. But the Burn Castle one was already really fucking dumb, where it was like, this is the truth. If you want it to be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But that was the one thing. But with the Battler's mom situation, it was, okay, so Asumu had a miscarriage. Kirie's child was born. They both happened to be at the same hospital at the same time, though, for their births. And so Rudolph was like, man, Kirie having the child is real fucking bad for my reputation here. Dad's gonna make me marry her instead of a Sumu. What am I gonna do with a Sumu? Sumu is very, very vulnerable. I gotta protect her. So I'm just gonna pay off the doctors, threaten the hospital, and get them to swap the stories of the two babies. So yeah,
I'll
Battler.
never know.
So Battler, who was in the previous episode, Kyrie looked at it as indifferently because she's like, listen, I got no problems with Battler personally, but he's also the son of a Sumu, so I don't really give a fuck if he dies or not. So if he's not going on with our story, we're gonna fucking kill him. So she didn't fucking care about that. Rudolph, meanwhile, has known that Battler is actually Kirie's son the whole time. And Anjay's like looking at the story like, well, I'm glad to know that Battler's like fully related to me now, but also the circumstances for that are kind of fucked. Like, what? Why, Rudolph? What the fuck, bro? Why? So, all right. So that was the big thing, which also makes it weird in context when you think about how Battler left the family for years after Rudolph immediately married Kyrie. It's very very weird in context when you think about that, because you're like, oh, but they're finally all together as the family. But like Rudolph obviously wasn't going to reveal that truth to Battler right after Sumu died either, because that would be ultra fucked to be like, actually your mom died and also she was not your mom. This woman who I was very clearly cheating on your mom with, because by the way, Anjay is here now. She's actually also your mother. So like there's so many layers of fucked with what was going on with Rudolph's story. There's so many layers of fuck that was going on with Rudolph's side of things. Like, Rudolph, what were you doing? But I mean, Kirie absolutely would have been like using Battler for like her own purposes too. Even even Anjay, for Anjay in that other story, Kirie was treating like just a stepping stone or tool, whatever the term is, for like just getting her means of like being with Rudolph or whatever. Whether or not that's actually what she believes, I don't know, because now Burncastle says that's the truth if we want it to be. So maybe she did actually care for Anjay. Maybe she did actually care for Anjay. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Here's the thing, okay? Rikushi doing that shit to me, it's just like, I can't trust any of these fucking red texts anywhere anymore. I can't trust any narrative of being presented. It has been beaten into me episode after episode after episode. Listen, I got started watching earlier today, all right? You know Nathan Fielder, okay? Guy who made Nathan For You? I started watching his other show, The Rehearsal, okay? And for those of you who don't know what this show is about, he takes people who have these social situations that they don't know what to do about and they want to practice it, and they recreate entire scenes, get paid actors, and they go through every permutation of what could possibly happen to get them to be able to get out of their social situation thing, or like to go through their thing properly, okay? And this is basically this shit, but like, it's Ryukishi doing it to us, the reader. Ryukishi's like, okay, so a series of murders happened. Here's like every single possible combination of who could have done it. What's the actual truth? It don't fucking matter.
Everyone's fucked in the end. That's all that matters, okay? Maybe Ava gets away in the end.
I mean, and the rehearsal's kind of getting to that point too, where it's just like, listen, all these things, what really matters is like having actual feelings towards the scenario that you're working with. Because if you try to fake it and all that's what it seems like it's getting at, but I don't know for sure yet. But I've been watching that recently, and I just kept, because I was also reading Umineko, and I was just thinking like, oh yeah, this is going through a whole shit ton of like scenarios of like recreating the same thing and trying to figure out what's going on too. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So when I'm presented with the Burncastle game later on, I'm just like, I don't even care at this point who did it anymore, because this is all just for funsies now. None of these are the truth to me. So I'm just like, this is just for funsies. And I will say, and we're going to talk in more detail about that, but the Burncastle game thing. I don't, there was a lot of problems I had with how that was presented, but we'll get into that. So Anjay, we had the reveal with Battler's mom. That was Rudolph and Kirie's whole thing. Natsumi and Bito. What?
At the very, that's on one hand, like, I don't like how long he waited to reveal it. He is a Rikushi. but on the other hand, like it, because it feels like he forgot about it and then brought it up at the
Yes.
last minute.
Yes.
But he pretty clearly didn't, because Battler's mom, like, is brought up in a lot of the episodes. Like, the possibility, like, the fact that we do not know who she is after episode 4 is brought up in episode 5. It's brought up in episode 7. Like, he knew about it. But he's just like, I guess just
It sounded
didn't
more.
know
It felt.
the
It
right
felt.
way
Yeah.
to bring it up.
It felt to me more like he had a different twist for the mom reveal and then decided against it later on. And then he was like, "Well, now what do I do with that? I'll just figure it out later."
He did, because in episode 1, Rudolph has the whole I might be killed tonight. I'm probably gonna be killed tonight, Battler.
Yeah, but like later on in
And
this
that's
episode,
specifically because of Kyrie.
in this episode, he's like, "I think I might be killed tonight by you, Kyrie." I'm like, wait, that's an awkward thing to physically say. Nobody is saying this. What do you mean? Hold on. Hold on.
That's the callback to the episode 1 where he's like, I'm gonna be killed tonight.
I understand.
You're gonna kill me because you're gonna be so pissed at what I did.
I understand what the callback is, but it didn't at all feel like it was supposed to be a cutesy little, "You're gonna kill me when you hear this one, haha." It didn't feel like that at all. It felt like an ominous, like, "I'm gonna die. I don't know, I got this bad feeling."
If they were not having a happy Halloween party, you know she would have killed him.
Listen,
This is true.
Kyrie would have been very upset, but Kyrie is also hyper obsessed with Rudolph. She couldn't give less of a fuck about everybody else, but she's hyper obsessed with Rudolph. I don't think Rudolph would ever have killed, or I don't think Kyrie would ever kill Rudolph. She would kill everybody else, but not Rudolph. I mean, I don't know. Because she was like, we have the whole connection with her and Envy, where it's like, yeah, we have this bond of like our power level because of how jealous we've been for all these years, so nobody's gonna stand between us and our man. And I'm just okay, all right. Kyrie was such an interesting character, and then it felt like she was reduced for most of the story. I mean, there's still some time, but it felt like she was reduced for most of the story to, I was the jealous mistress.
I also invented the flip the chessboard technique, a very important part.
Who also just turned out to be Battler's mom for a reveal. It doesn't really impact anything that it's revealed. That was the main thing too. The whole presentation of, your mother's not a Sumu. Ooh, what does that imply? What are the implications of that? Like, it didn't mean much in the end with the reveal. Sure, it makes you feel like Rudolph was a piece of shit to Kyrie for like lying about that, but also, we already established long ago that Rudolph was already a piece of shit. Like, that's nothing new. Like, this like
plus.
That's another thing where it's like, it took so long, but also like I could totally see Rudolph just like pushing it off as long as he could, because he says like, I was kind of planning on letting this be sealed inside the cat box, but
yeah.
maybe I should say something.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Before the murders start. But, all right. I have to ask too, Asumu, because we saw a couple like very quick panels of Asumu across these episodes. I think they even showed another one here too. They really had Kei Natsumi drawing literally every single character we've ever seen for this episode.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Here.
All of them. Like, which I kind of expected, but I expected them to draw them all. I didn't expect it to be like they're all here at the party at the same time. But yeah, they're all great. I think they're all good. Yeah.
Before we get to that.
Because like in the first episode, they didn't look the greatest. There were quite a few shots of like Battler especially that just didn't look great, but now you can really tell that the artist Kei Natsumi has really had the time to not only grow as an artist, but to grow more comfortable drawing these characters. A lot of these shots looked really great. Very fitting for the final.
Let me look up When did the first manga volume? When did they start the first manga volume? Umineko, episode 1. The first manga episode, that was in 2007. Okay, 2007, and then ended in 2009. This final
the
episode.
first manga literally came out like a few months after the first visual novel episode.
Yeah.
Oh, these are around the same. Oh,
which is a wild turnaround.
The final episode started in January 2012. So we get from 2007 to the end of 2007, so roughly the beginning of 2008 to 2012. So 4-year difference in art progress. And it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's why this is my first time reading episode 8 because it literally was not out when the manga version literally was not out when I was into Umineko in middle school.
Oh, I forgot they also did episode 3. They did episode 3 as well. But yeah, it is very cool to see how their artists regressed over time. Okay. So we had the reveal about Kirie and Rudolph. We had Natsui and Bito's thing was just, can you forgive me for the thing that I did? I'm so very sorry about it. And Bito's just like, listen, as long as you acknowledge that that's the thing that's happened, and you go remember that shit, I'm cool with it. Listen, I just wanted to make sure you fuckers actually remembered the bullshit you did to me. As long as you, like, acknowledge that it happened, it's fine. But, you know, you might catch me doing some pranks on you every now and then, though. She was doing the like a little witch's graffiti on the door.
Actually, I think we can all blame Kenzo for this.
True.
she's like,
true.
She's like, you know, I could blame you, but I mean, it's really on Kenzo for just throwing a baby to you and not telling you anything about the baby and just expecting you to raise it.
Yep.
So we can blame him.
I think it is morally correct to blame Kenzo for everything. I think it's morally correct. Even Rudolph swapping the baby, like he got that idea from Kenzo with the whole just give my baby to Natsuhi. It'll be fine.
Like father, like son.
It'll be fine. It
all makes sense.
So then we also
some of the puzzle screenshots here.
Okay,
not the actual puzzles, but like the dialogue during it.
Now I'm gonna also make the bold because I meant to ask too. With the Asumu stuff, because we saw a couple panels of them drawn. My bold assumption is there are exactly 0 sprites of Asumu in the VN. Is this correct?
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my god. How could I have guessed? I'm surprised they even gave a name to Battler's mom there. Because they didn't bother to give a name to Kinzo's wife, I don't think, at all, in the manga. I don't think we've ever heard a mention of what Kinzo's wife's name was, ever. We didn't talk about who she was, how she died, whether or not what people in the family thought of her. Nothing about her. Nothing. And because I mean, I understand it's supposed to just be like a political marriage, but the level of we don't give a fuck about talking about Kinzo's wife that has happened throughout the entirety of this was actually kind of astounding, given that we had Asumu have a name at least. I was like, what the fuck?
It is interesting because it's like this visual novel is so focused on the trauma of the Ushiromiya family's women specifically, and how most of the men of the Ushiromiya family are the cause of it.
Yeah.
And yet we don't even get a name for Kenzo's first wife. Well, only wife.
Well, we don't count Beatrice, apparently.
She's not. They weren't married. That's what I was trying to say.
Count either of the 3 Beatrices. Okay, we
God.
gotta mention that part.
So, okay, so we had that kind of stuff. We had a whole scene with Kinzo, Kraus, and Nanjo, I think was the other one.
Yeah,
they were all together. They were all together in Kinzo's study, messing around with his prized collection of guns that he has, which Kinzo, of course, being the Westabu that he is, okay, whatever the term is supposed to be, he's like, hyper obsessed with guns. He's a gun otaku. He's like, oh, Kraus is like, why do you keep buying all of the same gun? You fucking imbecile. They're not the same gun, actually. Sure, they are all Winchester rifles, but this one is like an M1987. This one's clearly an M5692. Like, I'm just making up numbers. Like, that's how it sounded like. And he's just like, okay, so what makes these guns cool is they're like all sawed-off memes, okay? So they're rifles, which you would think is supposed to be more accurate in certain ways, but actually it makes up for it in being much more powerful, much more deadly, like all that kind of stuff. He's like, and it makes it look super cool. You can like one hand reload with the lever thing and spin it around or whatever. You can dual wield. I was like, this is Kirito. Kirito's here. Finally, Grandpa Kirito. Welcome back.
Hold
on. Does that mean we can blame Sword Online by Kinzo?
We can actually. We can especially blame him when we watch Gun Gale Online Alternative this weekend. I can't wait. See, that's where the guns come in. Kirito's not in Gun Gale Online Alternative though, so happy to say. So, what else do we have here though?
So there have been for main character to be missing.
So yeah, Kraus is like having a little father-son moment, which he probably never at all had in reality. Because he probably only had
his entire life.
But they had like the whole bonding experience about like Taiwan, I think too. The like Taiwan nuts that Kraus enjoyed. Which we have like a moment later on with Genji, which Genji's thing was funny. Genji was like, Genji's the one who let them into the study because the study automatically locks. So Ava and Anjay had to find Genji to get the key to open up the study. And they were trying to find Genji, and he was just standing in a room, and they were like searching. We're like, I can't see him. Where is he? Where could he be? Perfect furniture. That was the excuse here.
This is a man who's too used to his environment. He belongs there.
I mean, he gives us a whole little speech about how he's just like, I've always believed that, once we are servants, we are furniture. It is our duty to not give opinions, not give any input about these things, to just exist in servitude to the ruler, like all that kind of stuff is what he's getting at. But we get a nice little backstory about Genji. I liked it. It was like Genji and Kinzo grew up together in Taiwan. That's a nice little flashback that would have been nice to hint at the solution for the epitaph. Would have been very nice. Would have been very nice if we had that before we were supposed to solve the epitaph. I'm just saying.
Also, if you notice, young Genji is just Ronaldo.
Yeah,
he's just Ronaldo.
He's just Ronaldo. But they were hanging out. They said they both came from wealthy families, which I was surprised with that for Genji's background. But they both came from really wealthy families. This was under a time where Japan had rule over Taiwan, what was it, like a decade before the war, I think they said, or before the end of the war, I think. So, or half a century. They said half a century before the war, I think. I don't know my history in terms of that stuff, but Taiwan was under Japanese control, so that's where Kinzo grew up. They hung out with Genji, and then eventually Kinzo offered once everybody had to get the fuck out of there, I guess, Kinzo was about to head out and offered Genji's family to like help them get out with like his money, and they refused to like leave, but Genji was like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and just agreed to move out and serve Kinzo. And Genji's just like, listen, you're basically a member of the family to me. Like, I know you treat yourself as a servant, but like, you don't have to be doing all that. We're chill. We're good friends. Okay. We've been with me all these years. It was nice. It was a nice little moment between the two. It was very nice. I liked it.
I think it also shows like why Genji has gone to such lengths to help this terrible, decrepit man.
Yeah.
He feels so indebted to him because he did save his life and he's known him for so long. So Genji most likely has a kind of warped view of who Kenzo is because he knew him before the atrocities.
The atrocities.
Multiple atrocities, let's be real.
Oh yeah, I just remembered. Natsuhi and Bieto hiding in the closet together.
And
This
then in order
this
to
did
get
not
them out,
this did not go unnoticed to me. The bringing back of trying to hide in a closet together, or what was the one? It was Cannon and Battler. Cannon trying to get Battler out of the closet. Like, it did not go unnoticed to me. Bieto and Natsuhi in the closet together. But there was also to get them out of there because Anjay and Ava basically knew that they were in there.
Vito just can't get out of the closet.
Yeah. But to get them out of there, for some reason, Ava and Anjay just pretended. Ava just pretended to like kill.
Strangling her, yeah. Like I like how that's their first thing. Ava's like, hold up, Angie. I got the best way.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to think if like. Because we had a thing too where it was later on Cannon and Shannon pretending to be dead together. I was trying to think if like many of these instances were just like events that happened in past episodes, but now it's presented all cheerfully. like we're seeing Bieto put like the handprints all over the door. It's like, oh, I was just trying to pull a little prank on you, Nazi. He. And then it's the Ava choking Maria, which we know did happen. We know that happened. We don't know the full details of like the full events, but we know that in that episode, Ava did strangle Maria after she had witnessed the death of Rosa. Whether or not Rosa's death was an accident, I don't know, but we know that Maria died right afterwards. And again, that was still one of those scenes where like I figured like maybe they had an argument, maybe she pushed Rosa, and maybe Rosa just got impaled on the fence and died, and Maria saw it, and she was like, "Well, no witnesses at this point. I got to do it."
Gotta do it.
So that was like a little nod to that I felt. So I didn't know if like we were gonna get more of that happening. The Cannon and Shannon stuff was they're in a room together. They're like. Shannon's like on his lap in one of the scenes. Again, they seem awfully sexual to each other in some of these scenes. I won't lie to you.
Friendly.
Is this self-cessed?
They're Vito, you just kind of yeah. It's Vito. I mean, like
yeah.
Like there's friends and then there's this, you know.
Like it looks like Shannon's about to. There's a whole panel where it looks like Shannon's about to make out with Cannon, and it just says, what do you say to a duel? And I'm like,
a duel, you say?
Is this what the kids are calling a duel nowadays? Oh my god. So
wasn't that 1998
your cards together.
So instead of like a duel with guns, they're like, okay, let's do a little game. We'll like hide, and the first one we'll like hide. We'll pretend to be dead, and the first one to be noticed as not dead will be the winner. And then they're both discovered to be not dead at the same time. So they're like, oh, I guess this keeps happening to us. All right, I guess we both get to exist. It's like, okay, all right.
They find Goda very easily.
Yeah, Goda was just like, I was like, everybody else was getting these heartwarming little scenes, and Goda's just like, yeah, they found him. And then Kumasawa.
I cannot overstate enough how Goda is just a chef.
Like they found Goda, they found Kumasawa. I think Kumasawa was saying some weird things. Oh, Anjay like was like, Ava was like, do you know where everybody else is? Kumasawa was like, oh, I wouldn't know. I'm just a little old lady. Anjay's like giving her a back rub. Do you know? Oh, well, I think I might have heard a sound over there.
Next is like the locked room with Hideyoshi.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're like, oh my god, there's a chain lock on this door, but unless we know the name of the person, we know there's a person inside, but we don't know who's inside, so we can't say. They're like, we're playing hide and seek, and the rules are you have to find somebody and say their name. I thought that was going to be important when it came to Shannon and Cannon. I thought they were going to be like, well, what's our name? Which name is it? It's actually Yasu whatever. What was it? Yasuda? Sayo Yasuda. I thought it was gonna be like, well, your name is Yasuda, and then they were gonna combine into one. I thought that's what was gonna happen, but that didn't happen. So it was used for the Hideyoshi scene where he's in there and he's just watching TV. He's like, well, listen, you guys have your phone with hide and seek. I gotta watch my shows. This is really interesting. And what did they do? They had Ava pretend to be Cannon. Or not pretend. They just brought Cannon in.
Yeah, they brought Cannon over.
And they were like, all right, Cannon, knock on the door. And Cannon's just like, yeah, we got a situation. And he's like, "Oh,
no,
okay."
no, there's more food. That's what it was.
Oh, food. Yes, food. So he opens the door, and Ava's like, "Ah, gotcha, buddy." And then they
Ava
got him.
slides in. It's a very funny panel.
Yeah, yep. And okay, so that was like a little thing. We had like a little funny moment with Hideyoshi, and then we had the Rudolph Kirie stuff.
No, that was before.
And well, I don't care. I'm just trying to go through in my head the like order of the, making sure we've gotten all the things. Did we get?
Oh, we missed the one with Maria. We didn't do that.
Yeah,
one
where's
yet.
Maria? Where's Maria? Maria was.
Maria and Rosa were playing with the dolls.
Oh yeah, that was a sweet little
Rosa's
scene.
dolls.
That was a
Yeah.
nice little scene.
It was.
It was like, this actually used to be Rosa's old room, and it's now been used as like a little storage thing for antiques, but like her like old little stuffed animals are in there too. And she's like having like a little moment with with not Anjay, Maria, where she's like, oh, you know, she's realizing when she finds her destroyed stuffed animal, she's like, I did
Oh, shit,
the
I
thing
did
to
that.
Maria that was the same thing that my siblings did to me, that like scarred me for life, was like my siblings tearing up my like prize stuffed bunny, and I did the same shit to Maria. Now I feel like a piece of shit. And we also had the confirmation Sakataro was just a random like mass produced store bought like doll, and she gave it to Maria saying, I made it for you. And I don't know why she would just lie like that, but she did, and then tore it apart in her face. It was like very horrifying when we saw that scene. Okay. And I'm still very upset at Rosa for not only having done that,
Everything.
but also it just being a random store-bought thing. Like, bro. And she was like, I tried to buy a bigger one so she can't carry it around, but I just kind of didn't have the time. Bro, she really didn't have time for her fucking daughter. Jesus Christ.
Rosa, like this part in particular really very plainly shows the cycle of abuse that
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosa
Yep.
endured, where the cycle of abuse is essentially the thought that if you have been abused, you will do that abuse to somebody else, because there is a good possibility that that will happen.
Yeah.
That you will not process that abuse and instead inflict it on others because you believe that's how the world works.
Yep.
Kind
Yep.
of a dog eat dog kind of thing. And
Right.
this part really shows that that's Rosa's entire and pretty much entire character is the cycle of abuse and how it can completely warp somebody.
Yeah, it was a mixture of that and then like, would you say unrequited love? Like, because basically she has like Maria's father just kind of dips. Like he was like what was he, like a
Yes, we
traveling
do.
artist dude who just
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck about the family he just established and just kind of left. Which again,
It's-
I'm still surprised with to this day because they have money. So I mean, they don't anymore, but the
Yeah.
family in technicality has money. So it's like, okay, well, he just kind of dipped.
Because you can see it as like the cycle of abuse really came out in Rosa after that,
Yep.
when she lost her boyfriend, of basically just not having a support system and instead
Yes.
having to rely on her family, the abusive family.
Yeah.
So
And
could
yeah.
she have turned out a decent human being? Who
Maybe.
knows?
Yeah. It's a mixture of that plus the mixture of like, now she like in parts of her heart feels like her life has been stolen away by the fact that she has to take care of Maria. And she has nobody else to help out. Yeah. So like she's like in the scene where she tears up Sakataro, it's literally just like you're the reason why my life is dog shit. You're the reason why everybody is like saying all this shit about me. It's all your fault. It's like, bro, this is a 9-year-old. What are you doing? What are you doing,
Yeah.
Rosa? Bro. So
Poor Maria.
yeah, but nice little scene. It's all bullshit. It didn't happen, but it's a nice little fantasy.
Wow.
It's a nice little fantasy that could have happened.
Guess what? Episodes 1 through 8 didn't happen. If you want to go that way,
He
what?
wants
Who
to
are
be
you?
kind of
Are you
cool.
Bat?
I mean,
are
they
you
didn't.
Battlerborg or are you
I mean, they
Anjay
didn't.
right now? huh?
I mean,
I think
I'm
you
in.
need to change your name.
Bro, we were introduced to bombs killed everybody. I don't think anybody had to murder anybody, but I think that everybody were a piece of shit to each other, and then everybody died. I don't know. Nothing could have fucking happened.
Change your name to Anshe Borg.
Here's what I think happened, okay? Kinzo set the clock one night and forgot to turn it off, and then everybody died. So...
I feel like Genji would check that every night, you know? Just like, did Kenzo accidentally leave it on?
No, here's what happened. Kinzo turned it off, but Genji obviously assumed that he left it on and flipped it the wrong way, and then everybody
He would know, though. He would know.
Listen, you gotta flip
Genji
over the...
just gets tired of it one night.
No.
Kinzo actually changed the mechanics of it. You had to move the lever the other way in order to turn it off, and just didn't tell Genji. I don't know. Anyways, so little Maria Rosa scene. We had a nice set of colored pages in the middle of this, which was just like all the characters in like Halloween costumes. It was very nice. I don't have screenshots of them. I have it on my Kindle though. But it was like Battler's wearing like a bat mask thing. He looks like he's like a vampire dude.
Battler.
I mentioned that. Oh yeah, that we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Battler's in like a little bat vampire outfit thing. Anjay's in like a what would you say, like a witchy outfit, magician. It's like a festive Halloween kind of attire. Bito's in like a cat girl outfit. Natsuhi has like a Medusa outfit going on, and Kraus has like a Cyclops deal. What do we have here? We have... Is Ava like a nine-tailed fox? Ava's a nine-tailed fox. Hideyoshi is like one of those spirits with like a thing on their head. The like the piece of paper. I don't remember what you call these things.
I think that's just a ghost.
Just a ghost? Okay.
No,
I didn't know if they had a
hold on.
specific
I
name.
remember it now. Hold on. I forgot to pronounce it though. Hold on. I'll type it out.
Okay. Rosa's a centaur. Uma Musume. Let's go. Goda is a mummy. Kinzo is a wizard, of course.
Of course.
Genji is Frankenstein. Nanjo just has a wrench. I don't know what his deal is supposed to be. He's got a wrench, I guess. He's a mechanic. I don't know. Kumasawa is a kappa. She's got her mackerel with her too. Shannon and Cannon, are they supposed to be like pixies or elves? I don't know what this is, but they're little cutesy
Oh, it's
things.
Yangshi. That's like a I think that's a vengeful
Jumping
spirit.
vampire?
Oh, okay.
Kind of. I think the term's revenants. I think in Western stuff, I think that would be a more fitting one than a vampire.
Okay.
Right.
I quickly looked.
And then Maria's a little witch on her broom with Sakutaro. It's a cute little series of colored images. I like them. I like it. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
I think Kei Natsumi was having a very fun time with this episode, and I'm glad for it. I'm glad they had a fun time. I'm glad they also got to indulge.
I enjoy a little bit of happiness here and there.
Kinzo just giving like blushy kawaii eyes as he's looking at his gun collection. Like,
I mean, look, I don't tell you, the strongest weapon known to man.
Yeah, listen. Okay, so Battler's the last one for them to find. And they're like, where is he? We can't find him. Anjay's like half passing out because she's a little child right now. And Ava has to like carry her around. Oh, wait, no. We don't get to Battler yet. Jessica and George. We gotta talk about Jessica and George.
Oh, yeah, they did them on the Paul problem.
They found Jessica pretty easily. But Jessica's, oh, Anjay, you want to play a little game? Let's play a little game. So there's 3 places in the room. The back of that wall, behind the sofa, and behind the curtain. Pick one of them. It's the Monty Hall problem. So she picks one and is like, ooh, all right, well, now I'm going to show you over here. Oh, he's not over here. So do you want to stick with your answer or switch to the other one? It's literally just the Monty Hall problem, which, again, I was so confused on why the fuck we were bringing it up.
I like to mention
and
that
it makes sense now.
It's like a photo of
yeah, it's George. A little photo of George saying, oh, better luck next time, with like a rose in his mouth. It's like, okay, all right. So They try their best to explain the Monty Hall problem to a 9-year-old before they're like, "Are you sure you don't want to switch it?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I still want to. I don't want to switch it. It's still 50-50." And like several people in the room are saying, "Well, it's not really, but okay." And they're like, "Whoops, you were wrong. Oh no." It's like, okay.
And George is like, well, I thought the Monty Hall problem would be fair game because it exists in 1998.
Yeah, that was the whole thing too. For those of you listening who don't know about the Monty Hall problem, it's literally just a game show meme where it's like there's 3 doors. It's a probability problem where they're like there's 3 doors. Behind one of them is a car, 2 of them are goats. Pick a door. Let's say you pick door A. Door A is not revealed. They reveal one of the other doors, which has a goat behind it. Now you're asked if you want to keep your door. Let's say door C was revealed for that. Now you're asked, do you want to keep door A or do you want to switch to door B? And you might think to yourself, it's a 50-50 chance because now it was just 2 chances for doors, but it's not, or something like that. No, it was. Hold on, I gotta say it right. You're thinking to yourself, well, it's a 50-50 chance of which door it is at that point. But the reality is, when you pick that first door, it was like a 33% chance when you pick that first door. But now it can be a 50-50 chance if you swap it or something like that. I forget what it is. It's better percentages if you swap it. So you should always swap it at that point. But people will delude themselves into thinking it doesn't matter. It's just 50-50. But that's not necessarily what that means.
Yeah. Basically, this was from, it's named after Monty Hall, one of the hosts from Let's Make a Deal, and because the whole setup of Let's Make a Deal is, one of the most popular parts of it is when he presented people with 3 options of 3 mysteries, and usually there's a car behind one of them.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
And the way that they explain it here, which is the correct way you're supposed to show the issue, is what if instead of 3 doors, you showed like 15 doors and you had them pick one, and then you revealed like 13 of them that were wrong. Now you obviously know that you should switch more clearly because you just had 13 doors get knocked out. So, unless you picked the one correctly the first time, most likely it is going to be in the other one, so you should definitely switch, and that's how you should look at it. That kind of problem, you just add more numbers to it, and then you can clearly see the probability issue there. So that was that little thing. Obviously, Anji didn't understand it. Anji's like, I'm 6. What the fuck? This is too complicated for me.
What do we do here?
And George is like, yeah, I don't know why we did that. Anyways, let's move on.
Anyway,
I think he also did like a little meta conversation with Anji, being like, there's many fragments in the future. You have to utilize the information you have at the time. That was the main reason why they really included that one in here, was the whole message about, the everything changed once you knew more information about the situation. So in the future, when you know more information about the situation, you just have to look at it in a certain way and all that. It might influence you in certain ways, but it will, impact your decisions, or some meme about that. I understood the point. I understood it. It was just weird to me that we introduced the Monty Hall problem all of a sudden. I think we had mentioned it in a previous stream briefly. I forget what it was. Maybe it was for something else.
Gap mentioned. Gap mentioned the chess match between Deep Blue and
I don't remember this.
what's his name?
Kasparov?
Kasparov, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gap mentioned in episode 6 that Bito going into the hordes of the wedding ceremony without any clue of what she was going to do was having a lower chance than Deep Blue and Kasparov's match or something like that.
Ryokushu was like, I know chess. I know about that one time Kasparov fought the computer in chess. I know about chess, guys. I surely know how chess works. I know how chess works. Take a look at my little chessboard here. I know how it works.
But the joke there was that Deep Blue was not even created in 1986. I think Deep Blue was created in like 1987-ish or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey, still
and then the match between Kasparov wasn't until like 1988 or something.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, neither Kasparov nor Deep Blue won every game. The person that wins more games wins in the end, right? If a witch gets too attached to a single match, a single life, a single piece, that witch dies.
I'm surprised they didn't mention the like psychological fuckery that whole situation did to Kasparov. Kasparov was facing against Deep Blue,
Literally.
and at some point he's just like, "There's no way. This isn't a computer. This is like a room full of people somewhere. This is all a lie. This has to be. This is all just a trick. This is not real. I'm not actually facing a computer." He like got mind broke in that shit. Okay.
I remember you commented once about like one of the Deep Blue's plays being like humanish, like just a little too much.
They were like, a computer would never make that move. It makes no sense. Why did it make that move? And yet it still won. It's not possible. What is happening? I don't know. He got mind broke by that shit. I think he was like super paranoid about computers a lot afterwards, I think. Or unless I'm getting confused with somebody else, but
Yeah, could you blame him?
well, I think he's got to take the L. I think he's got to take the L. I don't know.
I mean, he did.
Well,
Yeah.
not happily, but
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
Anyway.
okay. So that was Jessica and George. They had to make theirs a little special somehow because they already went through all their emotional bullshit. So they had to do something else for theirs.
And then we gotta find Battler.
And then they're like, "Where's Battler? Well, who's this pumpkin guy who's strolling around? Do we got a screenshot of a little strolling around pumpkin Battler here?
I don't have him. Sorry.
Get him. Bring him to me. Bring him to the stream right now."
Hold on.
It's very unfortunate that I'm reading most of this from my Kindle. I mean, it looks nice reading it from my Kindle, but also makes it hard for me to get screenshots.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. They're like they just go back to the dining hall where all the people that were found are hanging out, and Battler's just like walking around with a giant pumpkin head on his head, and he's like going to grab food. And he's like strutting around and shit. And they're like, "What? What do you mean you're in here?" And he's like, "Well, you guys didn't say I couldn't hide in here. The rules said I could go anywhere, so I just stayed in here. I was like under a table, and you guys left, so I just chilled out in here." And so
here we go. I got him.
I'm hearing word from the studio. We indeed found Pumpkin Battler.
Of course, you know, the place for all the food, that's where Battler at least likely to be at, okay? As well established, Battler cannot eat food.
I was like, are we going to have like a panel of him eating something through the pumpkin head? Andy would have been a very screaming
well, it
somewhere.
Looks like he does, but we don't see him, you know? He might just,
he grabs a plate, makes it look like he's about to eat, but it's like a comedic moment, like, "Oh, I've been caught. Oh no." But it also seemed more of like, I'm just going to casually walk around now because Andre is probably passing out now and I just want to get found already. Like, that's probably what was going through
I
his
also
head.
just noticed Andre's and Ava's eyes in that panel. They're so good.
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me show it on stream. They're like eyes when they see Pumpkin Battler. Wow, Oni-chan! What are you doing there? Oh my god.
Oh no, I'm on the left, not the bottom one.
What? Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. The like bulging eyes.
They're so good.
So that's a nice little thing. Battler didn't need a whole big emotional thing for him.
We've been with him for a good while.
In the visual novel, she gets tired after I think it's George and Jessica's puzzle. Obviously, that wore her out.
I mean, yeah.
And Ava's like, "Do you want to, your last puzzle is with Bito and Battler. Do you want to go to them?" And she's like, "I want to rest." So they take her off without getting to Bito and Battler's puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Okay, and then everybody's applauding Anjay, the hero of the night. The hero of the night who found everybody. They had a nice, wonderful time, and then Anjay starts passing out. And Anjay goes to sleep, and then everybody's like all gathered around the sleeping Anjay. And it actually seems kind of creepy, looking back on it now, just seeing the big crowd of them surrounding around one sleeping Anjay. But listen, I understand it's like supposed to be like a happy little, okay, sleep well now. You had your fun time in the Golden Land. You can come back if you want, but this was a little gift from us to you. We're all dead, so
we love you, Anjay.
And Kinzo's just like, please stay safe and all that. And yeah, everybody gets to say their little goodbyes. Maria has like a whole emotional thing too, where it's like, you called my shit cringe at some point, but it's okay. I taught you the magic. You're fine now. You're chill. You're part of the marriage, whatever. We're all fine. It's cool. Everybody's all like, stay safe, be well, please live, enjoy life. and then Kyrie and Rudolph being like, okay, and then Ava has an emotional moment because Ava especially tried to raise Anjay, and then they just kind of fell apart. But she still took like the secret to her grave and all that. And then we basically wrap up the human Halloween party, and then we go to the after party, which is where all the creatures and witches and everything show up.
Everyone's
Okay,
here.
I have a
everybody.
screenshot for that.
Battler and Beatrice get into their like their wardrobe, and then people start appearing. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory are there. Ronove's there. Virgilia's there. Who else do we have? Oh, the Chester sisters, Delanor and the Inquisitors. They show up. Gap appears, with her ass on a pumpkin. I noticed that. Zepar and Furfur showing up and appearing, having a fun time. Several of the family members like, man, we had all these people
Yes,
here.
Some of the family members are like, "Wow, the humans are about to be outnumbered."
This is in context. This is literally like Maria, Shannon, Beatrice, like just dumping their OCs at the entire family all at once. So Genji, this is your OC. His name's Ronove, and there's Gap. This was like one of the iterations of Beatrice. That's Shannon. Well, Yasuda, but like this is like one of her things. Okay, so Yasuda has like Shannon and Cannon and Gap and Beatrice and like yeah. So
Valor's just nodding like yes.
and also Zephyr and Furfur are also kind of Shannon and Cannon. So there's like a lot of different iterations of them. I really like doing the OCs for them. And then like Sakutaro's here. Oh, that's Delanor, the Chester sisters. Like it's literally just like all the OCs are here.
And then here are the Inquisitors that are representative of my religious upbringing and my religious persecution complex. And
yeah, you know, I just have that.
And here's the me if Natsuhi actually loved me. So
yeah, because Will and Lion show up too. Yeah.
So Lambda Delta shows up because Battler is such a nice guy that he invited Burn and Lambda
and tried to invite Erica.
Erica's
thing was never received.
Yeah, Delanor tried to deliver it, but they couldn't find her because Burn threw her toy to the abyss.
Yeah.
And so Lambda's like, oh, actually, I have some guests that I brought. And so she just summons Will and Lion because at the end of episode 7, Burn thinks that they died, but Lambda scooped them up, saved them in the nick of time, and just made them her pieces now.
I literally, again, like last week we said, I had zero concern about whether or not they died. I was like, they're absolutely alive. Like, obviously they're fine. I was just surprised at how, like, fine they are. I thought we were going to get, like, some meme scene to, like, save them, but it's just like, oh yeah, we're here now. I was surprised where Claire was. I thought Claire was going to be with them, but apparently not.
Yeah, so that's why the Omake at the end of episode 7 surprised me, because you don't see Claire after that. Like, we have the whole party with everybody, but Claire's not there.
We have all the other Beatrice iterations, but not Claire for some reason.
Beto's forgotten about her at this point. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I've disowned this OC. Sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, we moved on. We don't talk about that side.
So, this iteration.
Ever since she was a beta OC, you know, she's refined the design since then.
I made her at a dark time in my life, so we don't talk about that OC anymore.
So ever since episode 7, Will and Lion, this isn't like the way that the VN describes it offhandedly is that like the Halloween party is set sometime after episode 7.
Yep.
It doesn't really give a definitive time, but basically
Sure.
their bio is updated to say that they have been searching for a while to find a fragment with Lion in it, and probably unsuccessfully.
Okay.
Because for some reason, Ryukishi decided to make some So each of the characters have bios. I've posted some of them before.
Yeah.
And these are the bios for episode 8, at least.
Right.
I posted Anjay's earlier, but I'll repost those too.
Yeah.
Lord Battler and his wife.
She doesn't even get a name, just his
Yep.
wife.
We all know who it is. You know
We
each
all
other.
know. After their wedding in the 6th game, they became a happy married couple. In the past, Battler emerged victorious at the end of his long-lasting game with Bito, and he reached all the truths behind everything. Now, in this final game, they have invited Battler's little sister, Anjay. Just what sort of tale will he weave with Bito by his side? And of course, his name is in all caps to signify that he is now a witch.
Right.
And then Will and
Witch
Lyons
Elf
is,
Battler.
while carrying out a job as an Inquisitor of Heresy at Byrne's request, Williard met Lion. In the final stages of the tale, he rejected the tragedy presented by the Witch of Miracles. In search of a happy ending, they have wandered through the Sea of Fragments, putting their lives on the line. They are now under Lady Lambda Delta's protection. So, an interesting thing that the manga retcons, does it say? In the VN, it seems very explicit that they don't know who Lion is. Because they show up and Battler immediately clocks the one-winged eagle and is like, hold up, who are you? Why are you wearing that so prominently on yourself? Because Lion has it on their collar and their pants. Which,
Right.
we haven't really talked about it, but if you notice the one-winged eagle, like, the way the characters dress, you can see how, kind of their rank, but also, like, how much they care about the rank based on their clothes and where the one-winged eagle is on their outfits.
Yeah.
And so that's like, who are you? But Battler, despite knowing everything about the game board, does not know who Lion is because Lion is outside of Bito's game board. But they don't really bring that up in the manga. But nobody
Like,
knows who
okay.
Lion is, so
I mean,
rip Lion.
my implication of that when I was reading this was just like, Beato and Battler just didn't know who these characters were because they just weren't there for last episode, I guess. I mean, Beatrice was, but like not this Beatrice or whatever. That was my assumption.
Yeah.
Especially with Battler, because Battler, I think, was only there for like the one scene at the very beginning before Will and Lion even showed up.
Yeah,
and then like,
that's not even in the manga, but
yeah. No, it was for like one scene. It was like him and Virgilia, but then it was like just gone. It was like at the very beginning, I think, and then it was just gone. No, not the very beginning, because first it was Will's thing, and then it was that little scene, and then it went to Will showing up, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, so they show up. Who else showed up? Byrne did not show up at first. Byrne obviously was going to show up. We knew Byrne was going to show up in this episode.
We knew.
They can't fool us.
When she declares in red at the end of last episode, this won't have a happy ending. This isn't the last we've seen of Byrne, obviously. We knew this.
Allegedly.
We knew this. So, what else was it? Oh, Beatrice and Lion had a little reunion where Beatrice is like, oh, wait a minute. Could it be? Yes. Yeah, that's me. I'm Lion. How did you feel? Ari, about Lion and Will's art this time around? How'd you feel?
Haven't seen enough of it to really say. Looks alright.
Are we going to see more of it? I didn't know if we were going to see them anymore. I thought it was just
it's
a
the
little
Halloween party. You've got Halloween stuff to do.
Nothing will go wrong.
Yeah,
It
sure.
looks fine.
Okay. All right. So they have a little magical time. Very fantastical. They make a reference to the fact that the Battler and Beatrice are technically married now.
They are married. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but Battler's like, what are you talking about? Like, and Beatrice has to like remind him. It's like, don't you remember the ceremony in episode 6 where husband and wife now, okay? This is my wifely duty to get everybody to quiet down so you can propose a toast, okay? I was like, okay, she has to remind
so
Battler.
excited.
And he has a little toast. Everybody's happy. It's a wonderful time. Everybody's having a nice little party. The little sisters of Purgatory are like arguing with each other. The siblings are trying to give different advice to Pride. Pride's just like, oh, my sisters don't appreciate me. And I think Hideyoshi's like, hey, you just got to make your actions, prove that you're a leader. And Rose is just like, kill them all in public.
And then down there was like, that's too much of a bother. Don't try.
And Sakataro's like, no, we can't do that. Don't be mean to people.
Okay, I need to mention this failing specifically because it's immaculate. It is amazing.
What is it?
It's this one. Because there's so much.
Oh, yeah.
On the left, you got down lower.
Hold on, let me show a stream the big 2-page spread of
cute.
the after party. There was a lot of really good, like, big art, like 2-page deals so far with all this stuff.
There's Gap doing whatever the hell she's doing,
like teleporting through the like table,
and then there's
thinking
Goda.
with portals. And then there's Goda. Goda's doing his best, and he's got one of the Sisters of Purgatory. Just kind of, I think it's gluttony. That's probably gluttony. That's Beelzebub. I would have thought that would have been gluttony going for the food, but okay.
That is gluttony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that was the name for gluttony. Okay. I'm dumb. Because I forgot all of them have like a different name and shit. Okay. Virgilia, yeah. Zephyr and Furfur have just been floating in the sky the entirety of this thing. I think ever since they introduced themselves, yeah, we're here, guys. They've just been floating around.
Look, there's not enough floor room. Okay, that would cause too much floor traffic.
Kinzo's hanging out with the bunny. Kinzo in the back just hanging out with the bunny girls.
Oh, he's a furry guy. That's his crimes.
Here's the real question, though. Like, you said that all of this is Maria and Vito, like,
it's basically all their OCs, yeah.
Here's the question, though. Is Zephyr and Furfur Vito's OCs, or are they Battler's OCs? Because they were brought up in episode 6 when he was the game master.
Like, okay,
that's the first time we see them.
Battler to bring his own OCs, okay? Like, okay, I gotta humor her.
Battler was just like, wow, Beatrice really brought a shit ton of OCs. Maria even contributed to this. I guess I'll come up with a couple of my own, just to showcase how much I really know Shannon and Cannon are one being.
Battler created Zephyr and Furfur. He created gender non-conforming love demons to show everyone specifically that he accepts and stands by his transgender wife. That is the plot of Umineko no Nakakoroni.
Oh boy.
And I wouldn't want any other way.
All right, let's take a little break here and read through some of these messages that we got going. They've been piling up. Let's read a couple of these. I think all of them are from Minmod. You just got friggin' hugged. If you couldn't solve the epitaph, you clearly didn't love Japan enough. Or Taiwan, apparently. They didn't add the Taiwan part. That was me adding that. The riddle section and Burns' game were such a fun surprise. We'll get into that. We're almost there. Suddenly, the VN had actual buttons and options and games. Burns' game was the first murder mystery in the game I tried to seriously solve. I would have, too. Yeah. But it was kind of introduced as like a speed run in the middle of all this, and also I didn't have I had to make sure I got all my reading done in time, and there was still a shit ton more pages, and I was like, what the fuck, are we having a game already? What is going on? We're having a game within the game? What is happening?
Mini game, you might say.
It's like a mini game of the murder mystery thing, which just kept repeating the same exact facts like 50 times over. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I am gonna sit down and seriously solve all this and be able to make it to book club without being like 2 hours late. So let me just not sit down and think about it too much, because we're literally about to be given the answer anyways for the murder mystery thing there. Okay, so let's see what Minmon said. Took me like 7 hours. Oh, to seriously solve that murder. Yeah, it would have been interesting to sit down and seriously. I mean, I already had some ideas for it. The rules that they established for that game, we'll talk about that. I'll pause about that before we get into that. It's Maria's golden truth ideology, how to gather up a fragment of happiness even when the truth is miserable. This is a quoted thing Min wrote. Please don't be afraid of being happy. Becoming happy isn't the same thing as accepting your current misfortune. It means creating a new happiness out of your current misfortune. What else do we have? Umineko to me doesn't do the it's whatever you want it to be cop out. It says X is what happened literally, physically, really, but that doesn't have to be the truth. It presents both equally. That feels to me like a cope where it just sounds like it's whatever you want it to be. What does the truth matter? I don't know. That's just my view. But again, this might change depending on how we go with the other weeks. So we'll see. Minmod said, Happy Halloween. Made me bawl so much. I couldn't keep playing for the night. LOL. Kinzo and Maria felt like they always should have been so close and gotten along. Oh yeah, they had like a little moment together too, didn't they? In the Happy Halloween bit. That was a nice little bit. Oh yeah, the riddle section is also really sweet because Ava finally gets to be the caring parent figure to a daughter like she wanted. It was very sweet. Auntie Ava hanging out with little Anjay. It was sweet. They're playing hide and seek together. They get to do it together because they both won the little like what was it? They found one of the cakes is going to have an almond in it, and they get to be honored for the night. And they just ended up both having an almond because Goda screwed up and put an almond in two of them. Goda. Okay, Minmon said, I'm crying just hearing about it again. Sad face. Wolfborg's becoming an Erica. Listen.
True.
Perhaps. I think the switch babies is an allusion as well to Line and Natsuhi, etc. Probably. The switch babies being Battler, the stillborn and the Battler, that swap. My golden truth is that Genji is gay and Kinzo rescued him from the family. Genji has unreciprocated love for Kinzo.
Forbidden old man Yaoi.
Genji has unreciprocated love for Kinzo, who is Beatrice sexual, so that's why he's also furniture. I think you're cooking, Minmod. I think you're cooking.
She learned.
The faithful real of Geiji.
Geiji. Minmod said, Goda only exists because Ryukishi loves food and wanted to write about food. Okay, yeah. All right. George's talk to Anjay also doubles as talking to Sayo. If only she could find a fragment of happiness before it was too late. But you still have a chance, Anjay. And then almost everything about saving Anjay from her despair can be shared. Halloween party for those that aren't human. So those are the two parties. And then in all caps, and everyone was there in the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. That was the Halloween party. But unfortunately, the party had to end sometime. And so Anjay wakes up, little Anjay, who they just put to sleep in, like, what was it, the parlor? And she's like, oh, where is everybody? Why is the door locked? Oh, there's a cat at the window. What's up, little kitty? Oh, the window's open. You try and tell me go somewhere, cat? I'm just screaming like, no, Anjay, no, don't, yeah. No. I'm literally the Punisher gif. I need to like add like a button to play the Punisher gif with him screaming, no, because I've been referencing that too often lately. No, Anjay, don't go, don't follow the cat. So Anjay does in fact follow the cat, and Anjay is immediately led to a room, turns on the light, finds the first night, 6 adults dead. Rip. Party ruined. Dead bodies. Like Ava dead. Who was dead? It was Ava.
It was all of the parents.
Ava, Genji's dead.
And Genji.
Ava, Genji. Who was this? Oh. I mean, they're all the people who die in the game. When we talk about the game, we'll get into that. But she finds like the 6 bodies. She basically finds the first night of murders in there, and she's all screaming, and we're like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be murders. That's like the reminder to the reader. Yeah, so there's not actually a Halloween party happening. People are dying here. So then Battler's like, what's the meaning of this? Oh, Burncastle actually did accept my invite, because Burncastle shows up, and Burncastle's like presented to us like, I decided to accept your invite, but only because I wish to continue the game. But like, it's almost like it's not like I wanted to accept your invite or anything, Baka. So the only reason why I'm here is I kidnapped Anjay. Now you have to solve my little game in order for me to actually be here. Like, that's how it's presented to us. But then later on, it's like, actually, I'm here to fuck with everything involved. But that's later. So Burncastle shows up, and Burncastle's like, Jigsaw voice, I want to play a game. We're playing a game, okay? I lost to Lambda Delta, but I didn't lose to Battler and Beatrice yet. So we're playing a game. We're doing a little game here, okay? So Burncastle's like, all right, I have Anjay kidnapped, but that's just a pretense for us to play this game. So we're going to play this game. It's going to be just a straight up mystery, pure mystery. Here's some established rules about it. Okay, all you have to do, you don't even have to worry about how or why, just who done it. Tell me who the culprit is. And we have established rules for who the culprit can be. So let me see if I can find the rules and we can read them through. These are very important established rules for their little game.
And while you're doing that, I'll
I found
basically this part is the second mini game of episode 8. You actually, so how it works. Oh, I have a screenshot of it. Not the rules though. This is what it looks like in the VN. You are basically shown the script that she reads, the story that she reads, and that's without any of Battler and Beto's interjections. I think they have a little bit of interjection at the end of it where they ask, like, what is that purple text that you're saying? And she clarifies that the purple text is red text, except when the culprit says it, it's a lie. So for everybody else,
we
it's
get
the
new
red
text.
truth.
We get new text
Yeah.
colors here.
Purple, of course, for burn. But in the VN, you're just given that, and then you have the opportunity to either read it again, go over the rules, or you can get hints, which is where we get the segments of Beto and Battler going through their kind of back and forth of like,
Yeah.
wait a second, I think Nacho
Remember this
has to be
rule.
telling the truth.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to put it. When, Burncastle showed up, it was like, hey, our game's going to be a little simpler. We're not going to do any of the red truth, blue truth, back and forth bullshit, okay? We're just going to leave it very simple. And then she immediately used the red truth a couple times. And I was like, oh, okay, so we are bringing the red truth in. And then she was immediately like, here's a new concept called the purple truth. So...
It's a red truth, but not quite.
I mean... I'll read the rules.
Fern is a witch, but she really loves mysteries.
Here's my thing when it comes to the purple truth. You could, like, the purple truth means nothing. I mean, it can be used to logically solve things in context, but it also means nothing because of the way the rules are worded. So the rules with the purple text, as explained, I will go into it. Don't worry, I'll go into it. Okay, the rules as explained are that. The purple text is like the red truth to everybody except the culprit. Now, I said the culprit, but I should be saying a culprit, because that's how the actual rules listed out as. Not the culprit, a culprit, because the implication is there could in fact, and were in fact, multiple culprits. So, when you're telling me the purple text can only a culprit can lie with the purple text. In my head, reading through this, I'm like, okay, literally everybody could be a culprit at some point and just be lying now. So we have a little, in my head, I'm like, this is another witch's trick, trying to get me to think that the purple text means anything more than it actually is. Okay, but let's go through the rules and then we'll go through some of the logic things. Okay, so the rules. A culprit is defined as a murderer. A culprit is capable of lying. A culprit can lie about things other than their murders. Anyone who is not a culprit speaks only the truth. No non-culprit will be an accomplice to a culprit. A culprit commits their murders directly. A culprit does not die. Death refers to physical death. A culprit is among the introduced characters, and there are no lies in the narration. So these are the established rules, which does a hell of a lot more to solve all of this than the purple truth does at all. The purple truth, in my mind, doesn't mean shit. I mean, you can use it later on, but for the most part, it doesn't really help much in my mind, because, as I said, there can and are multiple culprits involved. So the implication of, oh, only the purple truth, only only the culprit can lie with the purple truth. Well, that doesn't mean shit if there's multiple people using the purple truth. Like, okay, so here's a couple things. No lies in the narration. That was immediately one thing I picked up on where I was like, okay, so the narration is essentially red truth. So, okay, so that's good. A culprit does not die. This was an interesting one I was trying to pay attention to because it was one of those things where it's like, okay, as long as we actually know a body we're seeing is actually dead in some way, then we know that they could not have been a culprit. Anybody who is actually confirmed dead could not have been a culprit. So that's one of them. What was the other one? No non-culprit will be an accomplice to a culprit. This was another huge one. So this is one that I think I do have complaints about with how they tried to use it in the answer for this mystery thing. But I guess we'll get into that a little later because it's trying to say nobody can help out a culprit unless they're also a culprit. But if they're not a culprit yet, does that count? It seems like they're an accomplice until they become a culprit later. I don't know if that's supposed to work like that, but they do make it work like that. That's a whole other thing. Listen, a culprit can lie about things other than the murders. That doesn't matter. That's fine. A culprit is capable of lying. That's fine. A culprit is defined as a murderer, so they have to have committed murder, and then they're defined as a culprit. The other important one was death refers to physical death. That's a big one, because we're not dealing with any, Shannon, canon, their existence is like a fuzzy thing. No, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? If one of them dies, both of them are dead. There's no weird meme about the different names or whatever. I was glad that we didn't do any weird shit with that. All right, that was a thing. Okay. What do we have here? The first night we had Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, Kirie, Rosa, Genji are on the floor, covered in blood. This is what Kumasawa said. And then that was the purple truth that Kumasawa said. Now, I was specifically trying to pay attention to what Nanjo said. Nanjo had said, no one would mistake the state of the bodies, least of all me. They were gruesome deaths indeed, is what he said. But he didn't specifically say which ones were dead from this first bit, I think. That was one of the things that I was immediately noticing. But he's not saying who died specifically in purple text. There was a couple times where I was just like, okay, I know what they're probably setting up here though. In one of them, Jessica goes up to a door and is just like, oh, it's locked, and says it in purple text. And then somebody walks up with a master key and unlocks it. And I'm just thinking to myself okay, so this locked room is probably it was not locked and Jessica just lied. Because then she immediately went to the window and was like, oh no, the windows are locked from the inside too. Who could have done this? It's a locked room mystery. And I was like, oh, so it was Jessica. But then it turned out to not be Jessica. So I was like, what the fuck? But that was a whole meme where it's well, she died later on, so she couldn't have been the culprit. There's multiple times where it seemed like a lot of these purple truths are just I was thinking halfway through Burns' game, I was like, is this going to be one of those memes where it's everybody could have been lying? Or somebody, you could have an iteration where literally every single person could have been the culprit, which sort of comes back later once we find what the answer is, and then we have somebody else show up later on who gets 3 whole chapters named after her appearance. But that's a whole thing. I don't know how much detail we want to try to get into the little game that Byrne has set up, but the main thing is just that it's a whole bunch of murders happening at rapid pace. We're jumping ahead. There's the key details of the differences are there are only master keys that are the only keys that work. We're going to ignore the fact that there were individual keys for things anymore. We only have master keys now, and only the servants have them, and nobody could take it from them. Things like that. They're the only ones who can use their master keys. which is a whole big thing where people are like, well, I think the service might have done it because they have the master keys. So they just keep breaking the master keys every time they find one that dies or whatever. Where do we...
I think at this point it'd probably be better to just go over like why she created this. What is Byrne's motives for doing this?
It was like... I don't remember. For Byrne? What was the reason why she... I thought she was just trying to do another game with Battler to try to, like, be a part of the party. Did I miss something? Or am I forgetting something? What was the reason why she did this?
So, the game is specifically set up where, spoilers, Battler, Rudolph, and Kyrie are the culprits.
Yep.
So this
Battler
is...
again.
Yeah. So this is specifically... Byrne making a game based off the Rudolph family theory.
Okay.
Basically, the theory
yeah, I remember now.
that she brought up in episode 7 at the tea party.
Yes.
Where she's showing Anjay that this is a truth that could have happened. That it could have been her family that caused it all. Rudolph, Kyrie, and Battler. That they could have been the murderers. And this game is her creating that kind of world. And unbeknownst to Battler and Beto, Anjay is in that world, in that game board, seeing these events happen. So why would she do that? Is the question.
Wait, hold on. Why would she... I'm just trying to think of it in my head. Why would she be presenting us with a game in which it is continuing the Rudolph family theory to despair Anjay more? Because this is essentially supposed to be an episode for Anjay to discover the truth. Is it supposed to be to fuck with Anjay more? Because that was the implication I was sort of getting when Burncastle just kind of entered in and started fucking with shit.
Yeah, because Battler has created this game board for Anjay to show her a fictionalized version of what could have happened, but Byrne wants to show her the truth. So she's kind of toying with her at this point of like, well, this could have been the truth. Can you really accept the truth if you couldn't handle if your parents were the murderers? Basically, one last toy at that before giving her the opportunity to find the real truth.
Yeah. And as a part of this, we have a late visitor to the party, which is, I think, the title for like 3 of the chapters I think I mentioned earlier. As Erica showing up being like, actually, technically, the Rudolph theory is not the only valid answer here. You could also do the, what was it, the George theory? Was that what they said?
Yep.
The George family theory or something? Yeah.
Which is Eva Beatrice's domain.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because Ava showed up too. Yeah. Listen, this was the point where I was like, honestly, I was checking out. I liked that Erica had an entrance. I figured it was happening eventually. That and Avatrice. I was like, where's Avatrice? But at that point, I was like, I mean, it makes more sense now in context knowing that this was all just like a mini game within the actual thing. But I was like, eventually just skipping through the like little thing when it was trying to explain the mysteries, or it was just people saying this person was in this room at this time, this thing, or whatever. We sped ran the entirety of all the facts for this case, the implications of all the purple text for this case. It was not interesting to look back on for the answer in the way that this tried to present it, where it tried to literally go through every single detail of it, but doing it in a very fast manner where it just repeats an entire like 3 paragraphs of dialogue to say like, okay, so this person's dead and this person died from this person. I was getting very annoyed at this stuff. I thought that this was the stuff that was not included in the VN. But it sounds like you're saying that this was actually all in the VN.
Yeah.
This little mini game thing, which is surprising for me to find out because it was a lot of repeating the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Specifically, so all of the B Bato stuff of them going back and forth are, you don't have to read any of that. That's only if you go for the hints.
Sure.
So every bit of that, of them going back and forth over a single rule, is a different hint that you have to specifically ask for, essentially. So you can literally like hear the entire story and then immediately go to the culprit select.
So I could just
then we get to the
so I could just skip to Battler being like, all right, I got it, and then Lamp to Delta be like, are you sure you got this? You sound like you picked it pretty quickly. Which in the manga they're like saying this after like they had like a 3-hour discussion over it. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I do love though that Lambd is like, Battler, you always like jump the gun on stuff. Are you sure you want to do this? This is Anjay's life on the line.
Which they are like so unconcerned for Anjay's life at this point because it seems more like a, yeah, she's your hostage, but it's on a formality so that the tsundere cat can like play this little game with us, I guess. I don't know.
Literally.
So they come up with the help of Erica, they come up with their answer for it. Well, I mean, Battler correctly said it was the like Battler answer, but then it was like, oh, but this is, Anjay's not gonna like this. Anjay like finds it. We see Kyrie and Rudolph in their crazy faces, but we also see Battler in evil mode with them. It is kind of interesting to see evil Battler mode, but like we don't get to like focus on that for too long because Anjay has nightmare sequence about the entirety of her life and everybody saying that her family has like been the killers the whole time. All the true crime girlies just talking about how her family must have done it. You know, it's a whole big metaphorical thing of all the demons being symbolic of like everybody talking shit about her family in real life and all that. And then Burn Castle shows up to help as well. Was that what the cat was supposed to be about, or is that supposed to be like what was happening with that?
Cats are Burn's minions. So like we see at the end of episode 7's Tea Party, where Will and Lion are supposedly torn up by Burn's cats.
Yeah.
I would take it more as a one of Burn's helpers assisted her. Or you could say it that one of Burn's helpers, that is a cat, that was already helping Erica, went out to help Anjay. I
was wondering for a moment if that was Will's cat coming to help. I thought that for a moment. I was like, yo, let's go.
Diana.
Now, that would be great. Let's get Diana in here.
Finally, that's the real late visitor. It's
true.
But Erica shows up as like, actually, I've got my own theories to present here. And Erica's just cutting them all away with the argument saying, well, the George family theory is also valid. So get fucked, idiots. I, Erica Frutudo, am capable of such deductive feats, of course. I have solved it all just by the fact that it exists. Easy. No problem at all. Naturally.
This level of deduction is possible for Erika.
And then you have Avatrice showing up, helping to defeat the demons as well. This is, again, the sequence where I was just kind of, my eyes were glazing over on the text because it's just like fantastical fights and they're just repeating like a different logical argument things. I wasn't like paying too much of attention to what they were actually saying to each other there. I was just like, oh, okay, they're there to save the day now. Sweet. Cool. I guess. Yeah. I like these characters, so sure. Or I like Erica at least, but yeah, then we have a whole like thing where Anjay's like, none of this was actually the truth. Like she has the moment talking with Erica where she's just like, well, none of this is, like, Battler tried to show me this, but none of this was actually what happened. This is all a lie. And so I still have to find what the actual truth is. And that's when she has, like, a discussion again with Burn Castle. Burn Castle showing up to mess with things again with Anjay. Being like, well, this whole thing, was actually just a game between you and Battler. And Battler was winning because you didn't even realize he was playing the game against you. Okay, he was doing the gaslight game against you. You didn't even know that this was what happening. You didn't even know.
She's like, oh my gosh, you're right.
She instantly believes the evil witch who's been trying to trick her for like all this time.
For her entire life.
like it's very easy to gaslight Anjay. It's like not a challenge here. Anybody could try to gaslight her.
You can really tell that Anjay and Battler are full-blooded siblings.
True. So, all right. So Anjay is being told by Burncastle finally the way to the truth. Not the truth, but the way to the truth, which was a detail that I think we had forgotten to mention towards the beginning. And that's that when Battler first started this little game, I had remembered it at some point, but we were talking about other stuff, so I didn't bring it up because I figured we were going to need to talk about it here. And that's that at the beginning of this episode, Battler, well, there's two details. One, Battler walked past a book with a giant lock on it that was very noticeable. And Anja's like, oh, what's that? Battler's like, that book's no good at all. We're not looking at that book. I'm like, oh, so that's.
Don't even think about it.
In my head, I was like, that's either the dark truth of what happened, or it's like the one that just happened in the previous episode, and he had locked it away. Was what I had thought at first, but now it's basically confirmed to us that it is supposedly the actual events of Rokkenjima, but more specifically, we know at least it is Eva Ushiromiya's diary, which has been super duper extremely locked. Even the witch hunters that were given it for appraisal weren't able to like open it and shit. There's nothing you can do for it, unless you're Anjay, who has been given a metaphysical key to open it by Battler. So she has a metaphysical key to open it, and is not able to open the real book, but is able to open the metaphysical book. Was that what it was? I forget.
She does so in the meta world. She only has the key, but not the book. In the real world, she only has the book, but not the key.
Right. Okay.
So Featherine tells her that Battler cannot, because this is a game, there has to be a win condition for Anjay, and that win condition for Anjay is finding the truth. And so Battler could not have created this game without that win condition. So the book has to exist somewhere on his game board.
Right. Just go back to that first room where you passed by it. It'll be there. Yeah. So yeah, Burncastle is just bringing her to Featherine, and then they say good luck, and then like she wakes up in like the room with the human version of Featherine, with Amakusa there, because I was like, oh, where's Amakusa? Oh, there's Amakusa. There he is. Because you can't go here without like literally every single character. Was there any characters we didn't do except for Claire in this week? I think Claire was like the only one we didn't get to this week.
I think so, aside from like the very side
Bungo
characters
Stray Dog
in
here.
episode 4.
Bungo Stray Dog
is there.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was what I was referencing. He's there, like at the very end. He
Right,
wakes
my
Anjay
bad.
up.
I forgot his name.
Wait. Kirie's crazy sister. She didn't show up yet. And the shady business guy, who's definitely evil. That was watching over. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that dude's definitely evil. Absolutely. So him and the crazy Kirie sister, they're definitely gonna come up though. So like they're definitely gonna come up at some point, I'm sure. Trying to think who else would there be? Kinzo's wife, who doesn't have a name. Kinzo hates women so much he doesn't even say his wife's name. Based.
Kinzo, the well-known respecter woman.
Listen, a little happy Halloween celebration. He could have just had a line like, it would have been really nice for your grandmother to be here. Old grandma so and so. Oh,
That's Anjay immediately like goes into the meta world.
Um,
Kenzo would never.
I've never heard of this person before. Kenzo would never mention them. That was the other thing too I wanted to bring up, and I recognized this when I said Miss So and So. Was it Burncastle or? There's been a couple references I noticed to the What the fuck is
That's Featherine.
that's Featherine? Like
Yes, because her full name is Augustus Aurora Featherine.
What does that have to do with
Ow. A-U, Augustus Aurora.
Okay, I'm getting confused in the official translation because they write it as like UHHUHH.
That's a no.
Let me see if I can find it
It's
again.
supposed to be A-U.
It's definitely not AUAU. It's like UH. It's either UUH or H or UUHH or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be Featherine. Because it's Featherine Augustus Aurora, and Augustus Aurora is the AU. It's just a little nickname for her.
That's a.
That I think. I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, all right. Because it seemed like it was like trying to censor a name, is what it seemed like. It seemed like when I was reading it was trying to censor a name.
Yeah, I'm looking back in the last chapter to get a screenshot of it.
I'm trying to find it on my end too. Because it was during this like last scene with Burncastle. I'm pretty sure Burncastle says it.
Yeah.
Where is it? It's gonna be here. That book is no good. No good at all. Don't open that book. Come on, Burncastle. Say the line, Burncastle. Say the line. Was it like before they actually met up there? Let me see.
Where is it? I know she said it this reading.
It was mentioned like in the early bits of the episode too, I think. Or maybe it was the end. I had remembered Burncastle mentioning it before, I think. Because I noticed it a couple times and I was like, what the fuck? Are we censoring something?
Here we go. No, Anjay, the reason I brought you to Owl, it's towards the beginning of the last chapter. Well, about 20% through chapter 15.
Okay, let's see here.
It's the nickname that Burn and Lambda have for Featherine.
To Ow. Let me see here. Let me make sure and confirm what it says on my end here.
I'm not sure why they would translate that differently. Because it's supposed to be Owl.
Okay, so it's like the recital thing that you said. So you want me to do a recital? Let me see here. Where's this line? Okay, so Featherine's there. They talk. They present the book. Where's Burncastle showing up again? They go to here. Ava's diary. Wait, no. Hold on. Where did it go? Hold on. I will find this. I will find it.
Sure, Grandpa.
I will fuck you. Fuck you. Give me a page number.
Page 14-ish.
Okay. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see. What? Where the fuck did it go? God damn it. Where, this thing that you screenshot, is this like, which part of the page is this in?
The bottom of page 14 on the translation we were reading.
Okay, so it's at the bottom. I was looking like higher up. I will find this. Okay, we will get to the bottom of this.
The page has, here's the full
Give me
page.
Oh, wait, I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Andre said the reason I brought you to like UHHUHH. That's how they wrote it. And they've mentioned this a couple times like this. And they write it in quotes. They quote it too. It's in quotes. The reason I brought you to they write it like that, which keeps making me think that it's censored.
No, the official translation is supposed to be ow.
That just sounds like furry yipping. What is this?
It's literally the translation, and I can't say any more besides that.
What are you telling me? The Witches were a bunch of furries all the time.
Okay, I mean.
All I can say is that that is the official translation is ow.
Okay, well, we need to keep this in mind for whenever other twist reveal. Why do we still have more twist reveals of characters at this point? I don't even know. But apparently we have another twist reveal about the origins of Ow Ow, apparently, that you can't talk about. So we'll get into that when we get to it.
Based on other Ryukashi works, the translation is supposed to be ow ow.
Sure, but it clearly sounds like there's some other detail about this that you can't talk about right now when it comes to Umineko. So
no, it's not about Umineko. It's about other Ryukashi works. It's not an Umineko spoiler. It's other Ryukashi works.
If you say so, Grandma. If you say so.
I'm not. I'm trying to avoid spoilers for other works.
Oh my gosh! Listen.
Because he reuses OCs more than Beto.
Let me see if the translation notes explains the stuff. Because I didn't actually look through the translation notes stuff. Let's see here. Uton. Oh yeah, that was the little name for the bunny thing. Monty Hall problem. That's reference. Don't care. They do not, in fact, mention here. So. Okay. All right, that aside, let's move on from that. That's a detail that we noticed, though, apparently. For those of you who understand what that reference means, go with God, I guess. I don't know. Anyways. So, yeah, Maria's got... Not Maria. Again, I keep getting Maria and Andre confused at times. Anjay has Ava's diary. Supposedly, it has the actual, true events of what actually happened. This was also around the time where we had the dumb fucking reveal from Berghouse's being like, when I told you this was the truth, I actually also whispered, if you want it to be, and you just were screaming, so you didn't hear that part. Which is all, it was still very fucking stupid. Why did Ryukashi do this? Ryukashi, you were not cooking with that one. Please. Why? Why? But, okay. But now we are being told in red, Ava Ushiromiya's diary, the book of the one truth, contains the truth of Rokenjima as it happened on October 4th and 5th, 1986.
What
so
you're
this
telling me is we're gonna get some answers in the answers arc.
Wow, if she can get to that book and get it open, if she can get to it. Because right now we're at a point where she has to still find it, right? Or like find it in the metaphysical world on the game board. Is that what this is? I'm losing track of where we're at with this.
Wait, duet?
What Anjay has to find the book in the game world or the meta world. Okay.
Game world, meta world, same thing.
It's all blending together now. It's all one big game, and we're losing it.
The game of life.
Listen, it's definitely not the game of chess. We know that. We don't play chess here. I'm surprised. They introduced mini games. They didn't have a little chess puzzle mini games. They didn't want to do that.
No.
We don't like chess.
I think that would have been a little bit too much for InScriptor to try and program.
You can just make a series of.
Umineko's an InScriptor.
You can just literally make it an image. Here's a chess puzzle. What's the move you make? And it's just 3 options.
Engine. I think it's InScriptor.
Like you don't have to make. Yeah. Like you don't have to make the chessboard clickable. You just show a chess puzzle as an image and be like, all right, what's the solution? And here's your options.
Again, InScriptor.
But it's literally 3 options in an image.
I don't know. I'm not Ryukashi.
You can't do 3 options in an image in this script?
Ryukishi.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, Featherine's like, so the key that Battler gave you towards the beginning and said, don't worry about this key yet until later. Yeah, you got to use that in the on the book that he said don't look at that. But they're like doing the witch gaslighting shit right now, where they're just like, Battler's trying to lie to you, he's trying to deceive you, he's trying to get you to lose the game that you don't even realize you're playing. That key that he gave you, you got to use it to open that book. That's the real truth in there. You got to do it. You got to do it. They're like fucking with Anjay. But whether or not it actually is the truth and whether or not she should actually open it, that's a whole question that we're going to be finding out in the next coming weeks. I will say, though, for this week, though, like, we ran through, I think, like, the Halloween party stuff, that was all fun. It was very emotional. It was very impactful. We got a whole bunch of, like, nice interactions. It was very sweet, fun, and it was nice. When Burncastle showed up and say, hey, play my mini game, I was like, oh, okay. It was sort of interesting. I would have enjoyed that far more if we extended that out to more than just like 1/2 of a volume for an entire murder mystery game. Like, that felt super fucking awkward and annoying, more so than the red blue text back and forth here. I probably would have really enjoyed it more with the VN presentation of it, where like if I choose to get the hints from them, I could check those out, but otherwise I could just solve it with those facts that given to me. But here it was trying to baby you as the reader for like the solution for it, because it was giving you all those hints, but it was really just more confusing than helpful when it came to that, because it was trying to be like, oh, this detail and this detail and this detail and this detail, where like I barely even remember the details of the actual murders that happened. I was too focused on like who's saying purple text right now and could they be fucking lying. Those are like memes. And like, what was the answer for that? It was like there was 3 culprits actually. It was like one of the parents killed everybody, and then him and the 2 parents pretended to be dead. And then eventually they were still doing the murders, despite all the sealed rooms and all that stuff, because they were one of the dead bodies. So they were doing things afterwards. And then Battler just lied about their how their body was, whether or not they were dead or not. And
Yeah.
so they were just so it was 3 culprits. It was all 3 of them, which I knew the moment we were saying a culprit instead of the culprit. I was like, so there's going to be multiple culprits. The whole meme about the purple text, it's not really going to matter in the large scheme of things, because multiple people will be the culprit. And so, you know, you can't just assume only one person is lying. Like, that seemed like an almost like trivial narrative trick puzzle thing, given all the other bullshit Ryukishi has thrown at us already. It seemed very... I mean, now that I know that it was like a little mini game, it makes more sense. But I am interested to see how quickly does Burns' little mini game go in the VN compared to how it was here. How long does it feel like it goes for you when you went through it?
Episode 8 felt very long, not in a bad way, even though it is one of the shorter episodes, but because of all the mini games and like me trying to actually like solve them and not look up the answers, or do like save scumming, it was nice. It was kind of a break from everything, but also a culmination of everything.
Yeah.
Like we see Burns' puzzle, which is a pure mystery, no fantasy at all. It really does feel like his take on And Then There Were None, the kind of idea of no fantasy, it's just people are dying and we don't know how, but it's somebody on the island.
Yep.
There's nobody else is getting on or off the island. It's one of us. But who could it be? It couldn't be any of us, right?
Oh boy.
So it's less of Byrne. That part is less of Byrne trying to actually when, and more of Byrne setting the stage for her game that she is about to commence. Her whole game of Anjay, basically.
I mean, her game seems to be like, let me just fuck with Anji's life. How can I fuck with Anji's life?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because the game has shifted from at the very beginning of our journey. It was Battler versus Beto, and then it became Battler versus Burn Castle. Well, I mean, for a brief time, it was also just Lambda Delta versus Burn Castle, and then it was like Battler versus Burn Castle. Well, Battler versus Erica / Burn Castle, but basically same thing. And then it was
never really Lambda versus Burn.
Right, and now we're at like Battler versus Anjay's perception of it, because I don't really want to say it's Battler versus Anjay. It's more like Battler versus like Anjay's perception of the events to try to like make her like not worry about the truth as much, because he doesn't really want her to be worried about. I mean, all this stuff always seems symbolic of like the inner workings of what's going on in Anjay's head, given all this stuff, because again, I'm still Battlerborg here, okay?
None of this, Anjay Borg, but...
none of this stuff is actually happening, and so Anjay is like just trying to work through in her head, like, well, what if they actually did just have like a nice little Halloween thing, and you know, we don't need to worry about how they died. It was probably the bombs. They weren't killing each other. It's all fine. But in reality, she knows that there was more to that, but she's like trying to be like, oh, Battler's trying to lie to me, but it's really just her trying to lie to herself or whatever. And she's like conflicted about whether or not she should just accept the truth or she should ignore the truth for the sake of like more so the memories of her family that she could try to imagine having had, so that she could like, because the main thing that we've seen from both Byrne's little mini game and last episode is Anjay starting to come to terms with the fact of like, you know, what if it turns out in my search for it that my parents and Battler could have been the killers? I don't know if I can handle that. That seems very fucking horrific to me. Maybe I don't want to know the truth. And that's where we go from like her being like Kyrie and Rudolph could have done it. And, you know, we see the scenes of like everybody in her life saying, oh, maybe Ava done it, or maybe it was Anjay's parents, and like just living with the Rudolph did it theory stuff. And she's like, what if they were right? What if they did do it? I don't want to live with that. And so it's like, I could keep looking into the truth, but I don't know if I want to confirm that. But I also want the truth because I don't want them to have done it. So she seems like conflicted with that kind of stuff. And it's probably not going to be a good ending for anybody. At all. Probably not going to work out for anybody. Probably everybody was a murderer. Everybody killed each other. And then the bombs went off and just kind of wiped it all away. Probably. And they probably all deserved it too. Except Hideyoshi and Sakutaro. Everybody probably deserved it.
Well,
I don't know.
It's... The thing with Byrne is that this kind of display of her is interesting because she is the Witch of Miracles. Like, that is her whole thing. And we are told that this version of herself is someone who has clawed her way through thousands of years of searching for a fragment where she could live, basically, escaping her own fate that was assigned to her. And it's interesting that the two characters that she torments for all of this is Leon and Anjay. And also kind of her differing ways of dealing with them. Because with Anjay, she's cruel to Anjay, but she's also still, like, egging her on, you know? Like, she's killed Anjay before, but she's still showing up and, like, grabbing her and, like, all right, come on, we're gonna go find the truth. I might kill you a few more times, but we're gonna go find the truth, you know?
Yeah, the truth.
She sees Anjay, and I guess you could take it as, like, Anjay is stuck in this dead-end world, and she's trying to find her own miracle fragment. She knows that this is not the world that she wants to be in, but being that Anjay is still human, she has no way to escape that. So you could take it as like Byrne is extending a hand to her because she knows, because Anjay is aware that that she wants to find her own miracle, but she can't on her own. And then on the other hand of the scale, you have Leon, who doesn't even know that they are a miracle, that they didn't even have to fight for their miracle. They just exist and they're happy. They have no clue of the hardships that they faced until Bird shows it to them directly. And even then, Bird is still like, you did not fight hard enough for this. So she essentially casts Leon into the same perpetual cycle that she herself was in. You could take that as like, is this her getting back at Beto? Or is this her seeing Leon as someone who was lucky enough to just be born in a miracle fragment and did not have to work for it? So she is stripping away that miracle from them and forcing them to work for it, because now, as we know in episode 8, well, what it says in the bio section, that now Leon is in that kind of limbo of trying to find a miracle fragment.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
I look at the scenes with Anjay interacting with Featherine and Burncastle now, with my context especially of Featherine and Burncastle's relationship last week, where I think I compared it to like public's interest in like traumatic events as like entertainment for them or whatever, you know, the true crime girlies or whatever. And now when I look at this, it's just like, this is Anjay if she like just fully consulted with them about what she should do to find the truth, and they're like, well, we have this Ava's diary, can you figure out how to open it? They send her an email saying, so, I mean, you know, if you really wanted to help the Reddit posters solve this mystery, you could help us open this book, which we haven't been able to figure out, which obviously the weird lock mechanic thing going on, another symbolic thing probably for like maybe a coded thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in my head, I'm like, somebody would have been able to figure out a way to open this lock. There's got to be some way to break it open.
Spine.
Yeah. So like, it's probably more symbolic of like this is actually a coded diary or some dumb shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like somewhere where it's like the diary doesn't seem to have anything of importance, but perhaps a member of the family could read between the lines of what was being said in certain events, or like maybe some things were mentioned, but nobody outside of the family would understand the context of it based on how vague it is, and things to that effect. And so like they have the information, but they don't know what it means. And so only Anjay with like whatever other thing that she can, like we said, we need the two pieces. Anjay's the key and the book. So she needs both of these pieces of information in order to get that last bit of info that all the true crime girlies know exist. And they're trying to like give her the advice to do it. Knowing that like Anjay's like knowing these two are not out for my best interest. They're just doing this for their own entertainment. But I also want to know the truth. So unfortunately, what they're saying, I kind of got to do it because I want to know the truth. And because Anjay just wants to be like, please, I don't want my family to have been the ones that did it. Please make it be George or somebody, not me,
Yeah,
not me.
anybody else.
Make it be Maria. Where's the Maria did it theory?
Like, similarly to what you were asking last week, when you were asking why is episode 7 referred to as a answers check. I think it can be looked at as like that true crime angle where the crime is of importance. Like there is a thing in true crime where it's like people want to know the gruesome details, But if you think about it, a lot of true crime, like documentaries, podcasts, whatever, are really focused on the culprit. They're
Yeah.
focused on what led this person to become a murderer.
Yep.
And that's like the big chunk of true crime documentaries and such, like the murders or whatever. But it's always the psychology and backstory of the culprits. So you can look at episode 7 was an answers check mainly of who the culprit was, and you can look at it directly as like that kind of true crime angle where all Featherine really cares about is why did she do this.
Right.
So Shadow, what'd you think of it?
I don't really much to add, sorry.
Did you solve the Burns little mini game? Did you solve it?
Okay, from the start I suspected Battler already. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I immediately was like, well, if Burns making a game, it's probably Battler is the culprit.
I was wondering, you know, because we had the little cop out game where it's like, oh, Battler gets to have his own game. He wants to try to make himself the culprit, but actually nobody's actually dying. I was like, okay, well, technically that counts as the Battler is the culprit thing, but I would like for Battler to actually be the culprit. I would like to see an evil Battler route, and then we finally did for like a little mini game. So I was a little upset though, I will say, with that one, because I would not have liked to see the Rudolph and Kyrie also did it thing immediately after we just had that happen with the last one. I kind of wanted to be different.
See Battler
yeah, pretty
everything.
much. I like for this one at least, because again, especially because I already just saw a whole story where I had thought we were finally gonna get a route at first where Kraus was the bad guy the whole time, because I don't think we've had that yet. I think we.
Incompetent.
I mean, I just wanted that. I just wanted to see like his like funny boxing moves just being used to kill people. Yeah. Whoa! What happened to his head? It's like someone punched it clean off. Who could have done that? I don't know. Anyways, I'm off to my moon tourist journey.
What we should have had was one where Battler and Shannon Cannon are the culprits.
Oh, okay. Because they're married, of course. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense.
2 for 1.
We should have had like Battler and Maria tag team killing everybody, and the last scene was just them killing George together. Maria just pulls out a gun after because I was like, oh, when's the guns gonna come into play? We just described all of the guns and how they work, so somebody's gonna pull it out now, right?
Also, Maria is very good at reloading bullets.
Yeah, she knows how to reload the lever action meme. It's a whole thing.
I've got that screenshot somewhere still.
I do too.
Oh my god, why did you... We're posting a big block of thing that says, Chap, do not click. You're gonna do this to me?
It's just one line, shut up.
You're gonna do this to me where I'm just like, there's a specific button that says, Chap, don't click it. And it's like very clickable. It's very clickable to me.
What are you, 5?
It's very clickable. And I know it probably has to do with the ooh bullshit, okay? Just let me know.
Here we go. Here's Madia.
Okay, just let me know with the ooh bullshit, okay? What is the piece of media I have to read for that? Is it Higurashi? No? What do you mean no?
Baby.
What do you mean? You can't even tell me what piece of media I have to read for the ooh bullshit? What is this? Right, I understand. Okay. All right. Here's Maria ooh with her guns, okay?
Read Higurashi, watch Higurashi.
Read the Bible, read Dante's Inferno, read Agatha Christie. Like, I understand. We can read all the pieces of literature you're supposed to read.
Don't worry. While we're doing Golden Fantasia, I'll rant about my opinions on Go and Sotsu.
Do we have
nobody will understand anything.
I know I won't. Do we have a meme image of the required reading for Umineko? Do we have that?
I don't think I have it.
Wait, let me see if I can find one. Umineko required reading. Because I'm pretty sure I saw like a meme image about this at some point.
There's a lot of them. Here's one.
Okay.
First, you need to read Dante's Divine
Wait.
Comedy.
Let me put on stream first, and then you can read it. Okay.
The
All right.
Divine
Now you can read it.
Commedia.
Now you
First,
can
you
read
need
it.
to read Dante's Divine Comedy, then
Yeah,
the
of
Holy
course.
Bible, then all of Toho,
Oh, okay.
then looks like just a guide for Gothic Lolita.
All right.
Then you need to play the Ace Attorney trilogy.
Yep.
Then you need to read And Then There Were None.
Yep.
Then you need to understand a beginner's guide of how to play chess.
Ryukushi should
You
read
need to-
that. Yep.
You need to read all of Higurashi, all 8
Okay.
episodes.
And
Then you can start
then.
Umineko.
Oh, okay. And then there's like 8 episodes of that, so good luck. And there's probably also how many? Like 8 episodes of Higurashi as well, probably.
Yep, 8 episodes.
Oh, good luck with that. All right, so we're starting with the Divine Comedy. All right, so that'll be book club next week. Don't worry. We can't finish Umineko until we do all the required readings. So I'll see you guys next week for the Divine Comedy, and then the week after for the Holy Bible, all of Toho. Like, yeah. All right. What other memes do we have to talk about? There was the bonus meme comics. Again, we have Kei Natsumi back at it with the funny little collage theater stuff that he's doing, where it's just panels and pages, but like with meme text instead for them, which are always pretty funny. I miss these. It's been a while since we had them. They're pretty funny when they happen. I think one of them was like they were using a Famicom. Where is it? Like the gamers entered the chat. It's like Ava and Anjay, like doing their little arguments or whatever. What does it say? Console generation. I asked her over and over again, "Where did you put my Famicom?" I finally rescued Princess Laura. I don't. Yeah. What was the other ones? I thought we were gonna get a reference to the Battler car again. In the one where it was Anjay and Amakusa in a car driving, but I don't think that was happening again. Okay, is there any other memes or things that we want to talk about before we wrap this up for tonight? Hello?
I don't think so. Shadow, what are your thoughts on it?
So what do you say again? I'm
What did
blanking
you
out.
think of this reading? This new game that Battler has created?
Look, I knew the entire time for the first 9 chapters this is gonna go terribly wrong, but I enjoyed it. Well lasted.
Happy Halloween and trick or treats.
And the trick or treat.
But then again, you would have saw that from my notes.
I can't
Yeah,
read.
but
So.
this is the time to discuss it, Shadow.
What do you think is going to happen next, Shadow?
I don't fucking know, man.
What do you think is the
Yeah.
truth of Rokenjima? What
It was all
actually
mer
happened?
people.
It was all mer people. They blew up the island, and
Of
then
course.
and then stole the submarine, the decommissioned submarine, and filled it with all the
course.
gold.
Uh-huh.
I believe it, actually. I think it could have happened. I want to say I enjoyed the Halloween party segments, but I did not as much enjoy the murder mystery minigame stuff as much as I thought I was going to, because it needed to be stretched out more to where it was not just big info dump of stuff that didn't matter in the end. It really didn't largely matter in the end to me for that, because of how fast it went by. I was like, okay, we just want a little excuse for a little game here. But now we're eventually going to get into like actual shit once we open up that book, it seems. I hope we don't rush through the details once we open up the truth book. I hope we don't do that. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that Anjay is going to find out the truth, because we, the reader, have to find out the truth. But in reality, I don't know why this series is continuing for Anjay, other than to show us the truth, which kind of makes me feel weird, like I'm the one who's about to make Anjay suffer. I don't want to make Anjay suffer, but also I do want to know the answers. So it's kind of unfortunate, but gonna have to deal with that, Anjay, for narrative purposes. I don't know.
Is this for us to find the answers, or
Yes.
is this?
Yes.
Oh no, sorry.
Ryukishi has to tell us the answer of what actually happened. You cannot end the series without telling us what actually happened on Rokenjima. Everybody in the world would riot if you don't tell us what supposedly actually happened on Rokenjima. Everybody would riot. Although I have heard that people there were factions of Umineko fans reading this in real time that were already dipping out at this point. This is what I've heard. I don't know how accurate that was in reality, but
Yeah.
so Ryukishi, you better be showing us some answers. But also, it's unfortunate for Anjay. Why do we gotta make Anjay suffer just to tell us the answers? It could be
Well,
nice
that's
to
the thing.
Anjay.
Like, this is Battler's game with her, and he has created this game because he doesn't want her to suffer.
Sure.
Because he wants her to accept the questionably false truth. Like, he admits this is a game that he made up. This is a October 4th that he has made up. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's false, if that makes sense.
Here's what
That
you're actually supposed to do. If you're trying to get Anjay, to not solidify the actual truth as her like depressing understanding of what happened, what you're supposed to do is slip in the actual truth several episodes ago and then beat it into her with several other iterations that that's not actually what happened, and then show her the Halloween party and then end the story. That's what you should do if you really don't want her to solidify the actual truth as a thing. Just be like, well, we technically already told her the truth, but now we've gaslit her with like a million other iterations of the story, so now she's never going to believe that that's the truth, and everybody's fine. Everybody's happy. Happy Halloween. That's what I think.
No, what he should have done is just brought out the yaoi.
True. We need the rise of Geiji. We've established this. Okay?
Anjay is a Fujoshi, and it would have saved her.
True. We need, yes. Cannon's helping Battler get out of the closet. Natsuhi and
Battler
Bito
shoving Cannon into the closet.
Beatrice and Natsuhi are in the closet together. You know,
what did the author mean by this?
I don't know. I was surprised when it was Beatrice and Natsuhi and not Ava and Natsuhi in the closet. I hear that's the bigger ship. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's my problem. I feel like I'm forgetting something important, but I'm not sure what.
The truth of what happened at Rokenjima.
Not that. Okay, that's not an important thing. But we haven't figured that out yet. I'm forgetting something.
Was there any other important details when it came to the whole like Beatrice Kinzo stuff before the Halloween party started with like the gold stuff? It was just like, I'm returning the gold to you. You've been a valued like friend of our family for all these time. And it was just, we're returning the gold to you. And Beatrice was like, I don't know what the fuck to do with it. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's just sort of a formality that Battler created for it all.
For his excuse for Beatrice not murdering everybody.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. I think we're about ready to wrap it up for the week. Unless we have any other memes, I think I'm ready to wrap this up. So, thank you so much, everybody, for coming to another discussion about Umineko When They Cry, the manga, episode 8, Twilight of the Golden Witch. And we'll be joining you all again next week for the next set of volumes 4 to 6. 4, 5, and 6 we'll be discussing. And we'll be bringing back our PNG tubers, our Umineko tubers, for that discussion as well. Hopefully Andy will be with us, and then you can see Angie, I almost said Anjay's, but Andy's.
Yes, you did.
Andy's Umineko tuber along with ours. Again, these sprites are all done by @SeaCatsCrying on Twitter and Blue Sky. Go check them out. They do amazing Higurashi and Umineko works. So, thank you everybody for coming around for this week, and we will see you all next time. Stay safe, gamers. Watch out for Burn Castle, the evil cats trying to get you to ruin your life for the truth. Sometimes you don't need the truth. Sometimes you just want a little Halloween party.
Reject the truth. Embrace Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween and the trick